The Probe spacecraft will travel closer to the sun than any spacecraft in history. I'm Rob Dawson, Fox News Radio.
Hey there, it's me, your stomach, down here, you know, the one who can talk. Anyway, I was just at a yoga sesh with a few of the other stomachs, and mid-tree pose, everyone started talking about Subway's new savory rotisserie-style chicken Caesar signature wrap. It's a mouthful to say, I know, but with creamy Caesar dressing and double the rotisserie-style chicken. It's not the only thing that's full, if you know what I mean. It's me. I'm the one that's full. Because I'm a stomach. That's kind of what I do. Subway, make it what you want. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Join Kathy and her team at Furniture Kathy Style for their grand opening this week. Their store is packed with fabulous furniture from brand names like Ashley, Klausner, Violino Leathers, and more, with prices that would blow your mind. Huge discounts throughout the store, such as their 4-piece bedroom set from Holland House, starting at $5.99. If you're looking for quality, style, and affordable furniture, come into Furniture Kathy Style in Hagutnya, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The search will resume this morning for 15-year-old Father Dueñas High School student Xavier Akima. He was hiking with friends Saturday afternoon when he was caught in a downpour and swept away while crossing the Longfit River near San Carlos Falls. The other hikers with him returned safely, but Akima could not be found. Search and rescue teams from the Guam Fire Department, Guam Police launched a massive search late Saturday afternoon, which continued throughout the day yesterday. The Navy's Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 25 also called in to help conduct aerial sweeps. They've been combing an area around San Carlos Falls, along the trails near it, and along the Longfit River towards Chalampago. Members of the Guam National Guard also joined the search, along with community volunteers. Family members and friends have set up tents near the search and rescue command posts, praying and hoping for the best. Again, that search continues this morning. Guam lawmakers worked through Saturday night, finally hammering out a compromise that earned enough votes to win passage for a spending plan for the 2019 fiscal year. The budget bill includes $78 million in tax increases, $60 million from the continuation of the 5% business privilege tax that was supposed to expire October 1st, roughly $11 million more from the increase in the tobacco tax, and just over $8 million from a property tax increase. Bill 232 passed by a vote of 8-7. The vote came about 8 o'clock Saturday night following the Friday afternoon rejection of the original version of the spending package. One of the stumbling blocks on Friday was the original budget's reliance on SAR funding, delinquent taxes not yet collected. That was eliminated in the revised budget that passed Saturday. Another barrier was the defunding of the deputy director positions, all of whom would have been out of a job on October 1st. Funds to cover their salaries, however, have been extended until January 3rd. Voting for the revised budget were Democrat Senators Tom Atta, Talina Nelson, Joe San Augustine, and Speaker B.J. Cruz. They were joined by Republican Senators Mary Torres, James Espaldon, Tommy Morrison, and Luis Muñoz. Opposing the budget bill were Democratic Senators Regine Bisco-Lee, Frank Uggan Jr., Dennis Rodriguez Jr., Therese Terlahi, and Michael San Nicolas. Republican Senators Fernando Estevez and Will Castro also voted against the budget measure. It now goes to Governor Eddie Calvel for final action, and yesterday afternoon, the governor issued a statement saying in part that he did not anticipate the budget debate would be as tumultuous as it was. He thought there would be some reductions in cost and some revenue enhancement that would cover the anticipated $145 million revenue gap brought on by the Trump tax cuts in the next fiscal year. He said he was thankful that some senators realized that the SAR funding as originally proposed was not a real revenue source, and he said his team would now review the budget bill carefully, but he did not say whether he would sign it. We'll have more news after this.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Beneventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumama. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
12 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. Following their approval of the 2019 budget Saturday, lawmakers went on to pass 2 additional spending measures that appropriate the remaining tax amnesty funds expected to come in by September 5th. Speaker Benjamin Cruz's Bill 329 appropriates $6.8 million from the general fund to GMA specifically for the purpose of correcting the deficiencies identified in the April recertification survey by the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services. It passed 15-0. Bill 330, introduced by Senator Frank Uggan Jr., also won unanimous approval. It provides $1.5 million from the general fund to jumpstart plans to renovate Simon Sanchez High School. The money will cover part of the cost to hire an owner's agent engineer to begin the architectural and engineering planning for that project. Federal drug enforcement agents, along with members of GPD's Mondaña Drug Task Force, seizing undisclosed amounts of crystal meth, cash, and drug paraphernalia during a raid Friday morning in Dededo. The search warrant was executed at a home on West Achoti Court. The area was blocked off for a while as local and federal law enforcement agents searched a home on that street and the vehicles parked outside of it. At least 3 people were arrested. 41-year-old Yosana Eileen San Augustine, 24-year-old John J. Roberto San Augustine, and 24-year-old Daniel June Regis Roberto. They're all facing a variety of allegations, including illegal possession of a controlled substance, conspiracy, and child neglect. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Right now with a look at weather.
No, don't go so fast. What's the hurry? What's the rush?
Got all morning long, right?
I swear it was right here.
That's right.
And I did one of these things with my papers, and now
just look out the window.
It's gone.
Partly cloudy.
I don't know. Let me check with the weather.
You did the magic shuffle again?
I don't know what the heck happened. It's still not. No, I was cleaning. You know, because I got a stash of news and stuff and opportunities for headlines that we didn't get a chance to talk about last week.
Right.
And so I was going through figuring out, okay, which ones am I going to use? Which ones am I not going to use?
Yeah.
And so I think in that process, it's possible that the weather is in a pile of papers by my feet.
The one that's to be not used. Yeah.
Yeah, the ones. Yeah. So the weather it might be in that stash over there. I'll look in a minute, but first with details on the weather. Here's my actual weatherman, Michael Knight. What do you got?
Well, it's going to be a pretty nice day today.
Why don't you just do this from now on? Why don't you
right?
just do the weather from now on, so I don't have to worry about it?
You can take that bathroom break. Yeah, it's going to be nice today, but we've got some moisture moving in from the east. It's an undesignated disturbance that's coming this way. Going to moisten things up just a bit over the next few days. But it's really busy out out in the tropics right now. You got Tropical Storm 18W Yagi. That's going into China right now. You got Typhoon Leapy. That's 19W. That's the one that's to the northwest of us as it's pulling away. That's going to southern Japan. There's also Tropical Depression 20W out near Hainan Island in the South China Sea of China. And 98W Invest, which is northeast of the Philippines and also moving towards China. So those guys are all going to stay away. But got a big trough down to our south, and this disturbance is going to ride along that trough over the next few days, and that'll be making things wet for us, especially towards the middle and end of the week.
So partly cloudy, hot, wet, isolated showers, northeast winds. It's back to school weather is what it is.
Yeah. And the hot.
Highs near 90 degrees today. Heat index about 101.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Can you tell I found it?
Days.
Can you tell I found the
can
script?
tell you
Okay.
did.
Lows around 78 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6:43. Sunrise this morning and tomorrow going to be about 6:07 in the morning. And I'm very upset. Speaking of weather, can I just I'm upset with the weather.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the weather radar yesterday because I wanted to get the fix on what it was going to be like for my time on the beach yesterday.
Right.
And so I'm looking at the weather radar, and 90% of the area around Guam, nothing. Just absolutely gorgeous. I get to the beach, and there's this ridiculous dark cloud cover of virtually the entire morning. And I could see it on the little weather map that there were these little spots, these little places on over the island. Why? What happened?
It was one of those days where we were having very light winds from the southeast, and as they blew up over the island, they got a little orographic lift. Not enough to really
lift.
Yeah, not enough to push them away, so they just kind of rained themselves out on mostly the western parts of the island as they moved on to the north. Well,
I mean,
northwest.
it was still nice, it was still gorgeous,
Yeah.
but I didn't get that skin sizzle I was looking for.
No, it wasn't one of those sizzling days.
6:16. That's news and weather together. Brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Well, now you're going to look at me and you're going to tell me I got to do a live read for somebody I'm probably not ready to do a live read for. But fortunately, it's Kings.
Yeah, we're always ready.
And I am, always ready to talk about Kings. I know the menu back and forth. I know the people back and forth. I know who to tip big, tip everybody. But there's some people over there that you always got to tip big because they're there with the water. The coffee's always hot. It's just absolutely perfect. Listen, it's going to get to be lunchtime today, and I know what your schedule is. If you're a mom or a dad, I know what your schedule. Okay, if you're a mom, I know what your schedule is. It's all about back to school. And you're going to be looking at your watch later on and going, hey, I'm so glad my kid doesn't go to one of those schools that needs a uniform. All kids go to schools that need uniforms, and you got to get in there and get crack-a-lacking on that. You're not going to have time to waste on even thinking about where to go to lunch, so just make it automatic. Today, it's lunch. Monday, Salisbury steak special. You roll in there, you get it, and then you're done with lunch, and then you can go and do all the back-to-school shopping and all of the parking lot road rage that you're going to need at the shopping areas and at the Kmart and all of that. And even the intersections around there. 6:18, that's thinking about that lunchtime from Kings.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Going to stick the weather right here. I won't forget it. Okay. Portions of the program brought to you by Security Title, making sure you actually own the property you think you just bought.
Howdy, folks. Just when you thought our famous KFC Crispy Strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC Crispy Strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
It's the Ray Gibson Show, brought to you by MRE Micronesia Renewable Energy.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
The nicest thing I'm going to see in this, it makes me feel better about coming in on Monday and losing the weather in the stack of papers this morning. Gus Castro Desanga says, "Good morning, Ray, Mike, and Kevin. Guam's big three in the morning." That is a nice thing to hear, isn't it?
Yes, and thank you.
Yeah. This groovy. I'm glad that you think so. I'm glad that you say so. And we'll try to continue to deserve accolades just like that. Deborah Wise just a few minutes ago saying good morning, Ray and Kevin and Michael. What a great way to start the day with you. Well, I hope it's a great way to start the week. There's lots going on and lots to get to on the table of contents. But indulge me a couple of minutes of just sheer time wasting here, because listen, the news ain't going anywhere. We got plenty of time to talk about that. But there's a bunch of things that are happening out there, and there's some other very serious things that we've got to get to, and the Father Dueñas family. I got to say right now, right at the top of the program, prayers going out to all of the members of the Father Dueñas family. It was kind of a tricky year earlier when they lost a principal and coach, and now the concerns about one of their own, another Father Dueñas brother that is out lost in the wilderness. A couple of days worth of searching, and I got to tell you that has been very, very close to my thoughts since Saturday night when I found out about it. I spent a lot of time yesterday thinking and reaching out to people that I knew that were directly involved in all of this. And just letting them know, prayers out to you guys this morning. I hope with the dawn, there's renewed hope and a renewed sense that this is going to have a positive outcome. So prayers definitely going out to members of the Father Dueñas family. Strong in the faith, huh? Fortis in Fide. 6:22 in the morning. 888-8255. That's 888-8255 here as we begin the program on a Monday morning. Don't forget the WhatsApp is always cranking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just one of the ways that we can keep the conversation going here. So every once in a while it gets 10 o'clock in the morning and everybody goes, oh, that's it for Ray. No, it's never it for Ray. I'm always lurking on my WhatsApp, on the radio station's WhatsApp, Facebook. Another great way to get a hold of me. Email at raygibsonshow@gmail.com on the World Wide Web. If you need the WhatsApp number, listen carefully, 988-5874. That's 988-5874. And let me just send a note out to Ken Leon Guerrero, who is listening this morning and spent all weekend putting together this. Have you seen it yet?
I did see it. Well, I did not see it.
Okay,
I
you
saw the
thing
post,
on
but I
Facebook,
refused
right?
to watch it because
You refused to watch it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Was it a half hour? You didn't have a half hour?
No.
It was great.
Yeah.
First 10 minutes, the first 5 minutes, he calls Ray Tenorio a dummy.
Yeah, for me, it's a biased point of view of the candidates, and I'd like to form my own opinions.
Okay, so
I'm not going to watch it.
Let's say you're not going to form it based on somebody else's feelings. So how did you get anything from the one-on-one? So you were in the studio pushing the buttons while I was over at the mall over the weekend. Were you able to form any conclusions?
Well,
it helped me. It helped me pick a couple of people I'm not going to vote for.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was.
Boy, I sure hope that didn't come across in the interviews. It's supposed to be a level playing field for everybody. But can I just say, if I hear the word passion one more time, if I hear somebody say, here's my qualification for running to be a public figure, a public servant in this community, because I'm passionate. I don't care if you're passionate. I want competence. Passion is wonderful, and I think that passion sometimes gets us in trouble. We overlook some of the important things like, I don't know, logic and common sense because we have compassion. We are passionate. The things that we got to be compassionate about is being able, the government is capable of providing services to everybody in the community, providing service to everybody in the community, not just the politically well-heeled, the connected, or the ones that are lucky enough to have won the lottery of employment inside the government of Guam. It has to go out and it has to go wide. And so I appreciate the passion, but tell me how you're going to make this work for everybody, and that will make me very, very happy. At any rate, so yeah, there was the one-on-one with the candidates, and I will because names on the door. I'll take ownership of it. There were some issues with the Facebook Live. The radio cast was perfect.
Right. I thought it was excellent program, well produced, well hosted.
Well produced for sure. But I was having a hard time with the Facebook Live. We'd had everything tested out and it was working, and then there were concerns about the bandwidth coming out of the Micronesia Mall because we weren't working with a dedicated video output, and so they had to make a couple of changes on the stream, and this happened naturally. Of course, it happened within minutes of the start of the show. So I had to go to a previously only used once Skype feature, and it did not look as good as it needed to. It sounded good, and then so we switched to a system where the video was good.
Yeah, we had a nice split screen. It was awesome.
But the audio wasn't any good. So it took us a little while to get through that, and I appreciate the patience for everybody. And sometimes that's the trick. We get to play around with new and interesting technology, and every once in a while you don't find out what's broken until you're actually on the air live with it. But now I know. Now I got to know in here and make sure how to do all of this so that it never ever happens again. And there'll be a couple of minutes with the software. Software developers are still working on the technology that we use that drives Facebook Live for those of you that are watching. And they're constantly working on updates. Now, there are ways, obviously, that we can stream to Facebook Live, but we're about to push the button on technology that will allow us to stream this to YouTube Live, just like the legislature does with their feeds. And for some people, maybe that's your preference, is to be able to watch that way and maybe it's a little bit more anonymous that way. But there's a couple of other live streaming services that we're also going to be taking a look at. The functionality remains the same. It's just it's our view, any speaker, anytime, any screen, anytime, to be able to catch what we are doing here, not just in the morning, but in the afternoons with what's that guy's name? Bob Klitsky. Bob Klitsky came by. Got that big, tall, lurch-looking dude with his dark sunglasses on, swings by, and the first thing he does, he comes up to me at the stage and hands me a bag, and you don't need to guess what's in the bag. No, not methamphetamine. We're not like that here. He shows up with a bag of betel nut from my other Auntie Lou, and it's not just betel nut, guys. It's peeled betel nut. What? Somebody, that's love. I mean,
that's like taking the wrapper off the candy bar for you, man.
It's already love when they bring you the betel nut. It's like matronly. It's motherly love, grandmotherly love. Maybe it's all of the different kind of mom loves all combined when you get the betel nut, and it has already been husked, and it looks just like. Can you see it in the camera? It looks just like that. That's what we are shooting for here. This is the creme de la creme.
What kind of love is it if they give it to you already chewed?
And it's that's the monkey love. Hot steamy monkey love. Here, I've already chewed this. Maybe you'll like it. Kevin, did you want some? No, it looks like candy, doesn't it? Looks like you could put some chocolate on it, and it'd be absolutely perfect. Anyway, love you back. 6:28 in the morning, and we got just enough time here to do a quick welcome aboard to everybody on Facebook Live.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
6:28 in the morning. Happy Monday, Juanita Machi, Randy Kruger. By the way, today's theme is Make It Happen Monday. Make it happen Monday, would you? I got see my cousin Henry Gonzalez is there. Paul Barron, hey buddy. Rico Blancaflor says good morning, Guam. Carl and Jerry Gutierrez among the very first to log on this morning. I see Brad Hewitt is there, and Brad's there to make everybody that loves any candidate except Dennis crazy this morning. I see Gwen Timinglu, Lynn Vince Borja Polino, Pretty Ashley is on this morning. Hi, Frankie Gutierrez, Jenna Carol Sablan, half a day to you, Lillian Cruz, and who else is playing around here? Pete Guerrero and Tom Tahadzi. Yes, that Tom Tahadzi. Christine Lujan. I see Charlene Marchessault, Ted Lewis, Peter Uggan. Good morning, Pedro. Pretty Melissa Blas Scheibel, Kate Garcia Baltazar. Sorry, I see 3 names, and I automatically see a campaign poster in there. June Bells, Carino, Hafa Dion Shinohara, Sheila Mikel, Tommy Barcinas, that's Cousin Tommy. I see Deborah Wise. Bob Kelly is on. Andre Bainham, who says, what's he saying? Good morning. Heading back to my dilapidated campus for another school year. Education will continue. They've managed to survive the audits and the reviews from people. And I guess somebody went in there, did some kind of inspection, and say, well, it's not any better than it was last school year, but at least it's not any worse than it was last school year. So I guess we can go ahead and let the bells ring. Gus Castro, Gasangas, Sinet Unpinko, Ada is there. Dora Marie Fegager, Jeffrey Ojeda. Let me see. Lawrence J. Alcairo. What's Janet Gigi Cruz says? Hafaday, Ray, and Kevin and Mike. Good morning, everybody. Let's all stay safe and pray for the people in the Philippines that are coping with the flood. Some area classes have been canceled due to the flooding out there. I've got a friend out in Manila, and I said, "What's it like there?" And she sent me a picture, and it was just black. And I said, I can't see what is it that you're trying to tell me. She says, it's dark and flooded here in Manila today, and just it was like noon, and it was like the sun still hadn't come out just yet. What do we got? Romeo Carlos says, yes, please keep the prayers coming for the family and Javier. And I got a link from Andre, but I don't know where it goes. So indulge me the opportunity to do some right clicking there. Steve Durkin is up early. Gus Gisangas, I was talking about politicians that overuse the word passion. He says, anybody that uses the word passion in politics is fruity. That's my opinion. Shared. Nick Perlowski, Ishmael Valise, Richard Arroyo, he loves this roll call. Isn't it great? Denise Legaspi, that's Lady D. Bob Lizama. Wait, there's more. I got Joey Leon Guerrero in Las Vegas has got his Facebook Live cranking. And Dora Marie Fergerger is, and others are waving at me this morning. Actually, you can wave at each other. That's the short list. We'll look at it again a little bit later on in the morning at 6:31. It's time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. Classes at Guam's public schools get underway tomorrow morning. Dozens of parents, teachers, administrative staff, and community volunteers helped with the final preparations over the weekend. This year, all 41 of Guam's public schools will be covered by a federal program that provides no-cost meals. The funding comes from a U.S. Department of Agriculture grant. There are no changes in the bell schedule. Elementary schools start at 8:30 a.m. Classes run through 2:45 in the afternoon. Middle schools begin 8:30 as well, running through 3:30 in the afternoon. John F. Kennedy, Southern, and Tiedzin High Schools get started at 6:45 a.m. Classes run through 1:45 in the afternoon. J.P. Torres Success Academy starts at 6:45 a.m. and runs through 1:45 in the afternoon. And George Washington, Simon Sanchez, and Ukudu High Schools begin classes at 7:15. They last until 2:15 in the afternoon. Attorney Jonathan Kwan has received legislative support to be the next Superior Court of Guam magistrate judge. Guam senators Saturday night voting unanimously to approve his appointment. Other nominees getting unanimous approval were Stephen Carrera to serve as a member of the Guam Environmental Protection Agency Board, Ann Roth to serve as a member of the Guam Environmental Protection Agency Board as well. Father Michael Crisostomo will serve as a member of the Criminal Injuries Compensation Commission. Louise Baza will serve as a member of the Civil Service Commission, and Elizabeth Fisher will serve as a member of the Alcohol Beverage Control Board. Civil Service Commission Friday instructing the Port Authority of Guam to restart the hiring process for an assistant operations manager after learning that an applicant was rated incorrectly and finding out that the person hired, Christopher Regis, did not state the truth about his former employer. The CSC initiated a post-audit investigation at the request of Simon Pinola, a former authority employee and an in-house applicant for the job. Pinola raised the concerns about whether Regis met the job qualifications An initial audit found issues with how the Port Authority evaluated the candidates. It recommended that the agency declare null and void Regis's hiring. Regis had indicated that his prior employer was Matson Navigation. However, CSC staff found that he was actually employed with DSG Corp., which is a Matson subcontractor. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
I think that's going to happen. It's 6:34 in the morning, and that's iConnect time. Here's the deal. They're the practical choice. They don't want you spending any more money than you need to on important services like mobile and internet and push-to-talk. Saw somebody playing with their push-to-talk over the weekend. I know exactly where they got that, and I know exactly why. iConnect is the practical choice.
Millions are making their fortunes in cryptocurrency. How about you? Learn to do it right the first time by coming to our free event at Onward Beach Resort Saturday, August 18th. This is not multi-level marketing. This is pure education. You missed making millions in Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft? Don't miss this. Come learn from the best in the crypto world. Call 671-678-5989 or go to guam.digitalgoldacademy.com. Call 671-678-5989. Do it now.
All my crypto guys are going crazy over this. I'm getting pinged all over the place. Facebook and WhatsApp saying, Ray, you going? Ray, you going? And maybe I will. Great opportunity to find out what's going on. In the meantime, I'm going to have to scrimp and save like everybody else. And that's why when I find a bargain, when I see the word sale, I'm directly drawn to that. And so I want to share this with you because it's a great way to get the great taste at Wendy's for only $1. $1. Now is the time for the Wendy's Buffalo Ranch Crispy Chicken Sandwich. Great taste, you better believe it. Crispy chicken, bold buffalo ranch sauce, and then melty cheese. Great price, it's $1. It's only $1. The $1 Buffalo Ranch Crispy Chicken Sandwich, only at Wendy's. Now that's better.
Many of you are like Governor Gutierrez and Fred Bordalio. They know Guam is a special place and are worried about the current state of our island home. They're tired of the political finger-pointing while our people continue to suffer and struggle in their daily lives. Please vote Gutierrez Bordalio on August 25th, and together we will make Guam, Guam again. Thank you.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Portions of the program brought to you by APL. That's short for American President Lines. They approve the message, too. American President Lines is shipping the future.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Got traffic coming up in a second. We'll give you locations. We'll give you traffic hassles based on how close they are to a subway. One of these days, well, if you're at the subway here, traffic is good. If you're at the subway there, traffic is good. If you're one of these days, I'll do it like that. But right now, it needs you thinking about Subway's signature wraps. Got a couple of great flavors that they've developed that sit perfectly with the wraps. But if you're like me and you already got a favorite, a BMT or a tuna, or maybe you're one of those Black Forest people, yeah, no problem. They can turn those into wraps as well. Filling, delicious, lower carbs, loaded with meat, packed with flavor. Get yours today at Subway. Make it what you want.
On-site diesel delivery by Morico Equipment. Morico Equipment offers an on-site diesel delivery service right to your door. Diesel is delivered at pump prices. Don't wait for a typhoon to hit. Call Morico at 649-1966 right now. Kohler Power Systems are quiet, reliable, and dependable. With regular service and support from our team, they stay that way. Kohler generator systems are sold and serviced on Guam by Morico Equipment. Yes. Call now 649-1946 or click moricoequipment.com.
Nothing traffic yet. Don't see any places that are going to make you crazy or annoy you right now. Traffic is beginning to build, though, coming out of Estumbo onto Route 3, and traffic from about where the, I want to say that's moving from Route 16 towards the... the swimming pool's up in Dededo. I think traffic is beginning to build up there. 8, 10, and 16 are clear, but it looks like we might see a little bit of traffic building up over by the upstairs 76. That's the one over by the Ocean Vista, and it looks like traffic might be trying to get thick going onto Route 10A and cutting across the way. Traffic in mighty Route 8 northbound this time from about where the Rainbow is, the old Rainbow is, all the way up to around the front of Teads, and you're going to see traffic building up through there, and maybe just a little bit in the downtown Gutnia area. Don't see anything major happening down in Sumai. What is this thing coming out of Route 6 cross onto Marine Corps Drive? You might see a little bit of a delay through there. 20 away from the top of the hour. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pan tosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better Together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I see it. 20 away from the top of the hour. I need the dramatic music. May I? Dramatic music? Not yet. Wait for it. A reading now from the release from Speaker B.J. Cruz on the passage of the fiscal year 19 budget. Now. No, not that dramatic music. The one we're always we use when we're trying to make fun of the people that are crying at the judge at court trying to get their sentences reduced. That dramatic music. This clearly wasn't easy. But tonight, a bipartisan group of senators acted courageously to keep government working for the people of Guam. I thank them for their tireless effort and hard work. I ask Governor Calvo to recognize this as the hard-earned compromise it was and let this bill become law. Huh? Thank you. Thank you.
That wasn't for the letter. That's for the performance.
Oh, the performance. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
That's a. Where's Miami? Where's my Oscar? This clearly wasn't easy. And my guess is maybe towards the last, I don't know, last couple of times they got called into session. They just, whatever you want, B, just give it to us and we'll vote on it. And then can we get done? Because I got stuff to do. I got, this is terrible.
It was close. It was still close, 8-7.
So the people that did best because the legislature was so busy over the weekend are, let me see here, Madeline Zebradalio and Doris Flores Brooks. They were able to. They were doing all right over the weekend. You know why? Because they were campaigning out on their own. They didn't have to worry. They didn't have to worry about Mike St. Nicholas. Where was Mike? At the legislature, fighting day number 9, number 10, number 11 of this budget drama. And let me see here. There's Doreen Crisostomo and Yuka Hechinova, who also made out like bandits because everywhere where they needed to be, they didn't have to worry about B.J. Cruz coming in and interloping and seizing the potential voters out from their very grasp because B.J. was over at the legislature with day number 9 and 10 and 11. I referred to it as a drama, and I think I'm going to begin to refer to it now as a passion. You remember the movie, The Passion of the Christ?
Yeah.
Right? What do they call that? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it was just so gory.
Yeah, it was,
so that's what they were going through over at the legislature.
The passion of the legislature.
The passion of the legislature, the goriness of this budget bill. And I haven't even begun to take it apart just yet. Suffice to say that we missed another great opportunity. At least 8 members of the legislature missed a great opportunity to do something about the government of Guam, as opposed to sticking it to all of the taxpayers around here. Because in essence, it is a bunch of ways that we've managed to raise taxes on everybody. Like it or not, that's what it is. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still. Hey, you remember when Trump got in trouble for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so wait, who else did well? So we got that's for Mike, and that one's for BJ. The gubernatorial candidates, right? Was it Friday night or Saturday night? It's Friday night, right? That the FCG had their big deal.
That's right.
Okay, so Friday night, and it got off to a late start, and I think it was because they were hoping that Frank Uggan and Dennis
he couldn't make it because the legislature continued their deliberations on that budget bill right through Friday evening until about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and so I didn't see the video. Was Frank and Dennis, were they wearing their barongs? Like any second now, as soon as gavel something in, give me something to vote on because I got 200 Filipinos out there that want to vote for me, and you're not letting them do it. I got to check.
I bet Dennis has a really nice barong.
Bet. I'll bet he does.
Oh,
I have a nice one. One,
okay.
because you're not supposed to wear it's the idea behind the barong Tagalog, as I understand it, is it's for formal occasions.
Yeah.
So it's not like I could just roll in on a Tuesday morning with my barong, and wear it unless there was a reason. Now tomorrow
you could, but people would ask you all day, where are you going, Ray? What are you doing?
I'm going to get my sutures out today on the Frankenstein thing. See right here. The sutures are coming out. Remember last week I had the bandage?
You were going to paint an eye up there.
Well, we were going to do the eye, and then Ashley Rodriguez wanted me to put the little heart, the little Valentine, because that's her dad's campaign thing. But we decided against that. So the sutures are coming out this morning, and they'll fly out of here at 10, go to the doctors, and see what happens, and have one of those moments like, okay, what do you guys think? Is it okay? Am I going to be all right? Is this going to be something that people notice more than the bumps on my head? That's the scary part, right? I don't know. Speaking of scary, hey, if you're Ray Tenorio, don't bother watching the video that was put together by Ken Leon Guerrero because he calls you a dummy in the first 5 minutes. Ken LG's on the line now. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning.
So I wasn't able to watch the whole thing because I just gotten my hands on the full and complete version of it this morning. And
if you go to the Facebook page, I break it down into 5 separate videos, one for each candidate.
Yeah, but that still doesn't mean that I've got the time to, between when I got it this morning and by the time I got to work, I was only able to catch about the first 12 minutes of it. And it sounded to me, obviously I heard the parts with Tenorio and the things that he had to say about him and the potential for the campaign, but also the criticism on the Republican Party for not fielding anybody else.
Yeah, I was very upset with the Republican Party. And here's something a lot of people don't know. When I lived in Hawaii for 12 years, I was a registered member of the Republican Party in the most democratic state in the Union. So I knew what a challenge it was to be a Republican in a heavily Democratic state. Mm-hmm. But I met a lot of great Republicans over there. And over here, we have a lot of great people who identify themselves as Republicans. I just couldn't get any of them to run because they said, well, without the party support and endorsement, it's an exercise in futility. So they didn't want to toss their hats into the ring. And so we ended up with Ray Tenorio and Tony Hatta.
You know what? I got to laugh because one of the things that was funny to me initially is, we started identifying some of the people that would be running for the gubernatorial positions. So you're just watching the cavalcade, if you will, of Democrats, coming up and grabbing their packets, and this Democrat here and that Democrat there, and then pretty soon it was 4 Democrats, and there were people in the Democratic Party that were coming up to me asking me my thoughts on potential opponents for Ray and Tony. And they tossed out names like Kaleo Moylan and Mike Cruz. There are a couple of other guys that whose names were beginning to bubble up to the surface, but nothing ever happened to them. And I've got to assume that maybe a part of that is that you're saying is right. If the party said it's going to be Ray and Tony, those are our guys. We're not going to waste any time and effort supporting another set of candidates, only to watch them lose in the primary election. So we'll just go with these guys and let that wave ride all the way to the general election.
Just like the Titanic.
You're a funny guy. You're a funny guy.
But the whole thing is, by putting Ray up there as the head of the ticket, he damages the downline ticket severely, because, I mean...
Well, I don't know that Ray being at the top of the ticket is going to hurt Doris's chances. I mean, Doris is going to get a walk through the primary.
Yeah, she'll get a walk to the primary because she doesn't have any competition at that level either. It's the same thing. But my point is that because there is no, I mean, in the past year and a half, I honestly have only talked to 3 people who said they were going to vote for Ray. Out of the hundreds of people I've been talking to, only 3 have identified that they would vote for Ray. And what that does is it takes a huge block of voters away from the Republican side of the ticket to concentrate on the Democratic side of the ticket, which upsets me because there are some good Republican candidates out there, but they're probably going to get walloped as a result of the lack of attention being drawn to the Republican ballot in this primary. That's why I want to get rid of the primary election system. If we just had a race for the roses, one shot, then we would see more quality candidates coming out. We'd see independents as well as Republicans and Democrats, and we would have a better selection of candidates to vote for.
You and I have held, I think, that belief for a number of years, and we continue to be ignored by the people that actually run things around here. So I'm not going to put too much into that. I think that's something that we've got to work through at the legislature, and who knows, maybe even into Congress. Real quick on the 2019 budget that the legislature has just passed. Give me a few seconds on that.
I'm very frustrated with it because basically all we did is confirm Governor Calvo's State of the Island address, where he proudly proclaimed, "I am about to submit the island's first billion-dollar budget, and oh, by the way, we're on the edge of financial collapse, so we need to raise taxes on everybody." It's a mixed message that really didn't work, and I was very upset to see that we passed the budget he wanted, nearly $1 billion. I was hoping to see a 10, 15, or 20% reduction. No, they found the money, they found the revenue, and it's unfortunate. I think a lot of that comes out of our pockets. We've got a 5%. We're going to get stuck with the 5% business privilege taxes. There's going to be sin taxes, and even the real estate tax that's going in. I mean, I know that they were trying to shield Tan Maria and Don Jose from having to pay any additional. But if you've got improvements that are over $1 million, then you're going to have to pay some additional taxes on it. Well, people are paying rent on those properties that have been improved to $1 million plus. And we're not talking about just a bunch of rich blokes here on Guam. These are buildings that have got apartments and businesses on them, and those increases now are going to get passed on to their customers and their tenants. Yeah, I think like 98% of those buildings are rented by government of Guam.
And there is that as well. Is you got these some of the tenants now are the government of Guam, and their rates are going to go up. Their rental is going to go up, and that's going to be cause for some additional problems. Here's the thing that's I'm wondering about is, and maybe Kevin, who'd been watching and paying attention, they found some additional Section 30 money, or they are requesting for more additional Section 30 money.
$78 million. The original budget, the budget that was defeated on Friday, projected $68 million in Section 30 funds.
Okay.
Thursday night, Lester Carlson came in and said that the government of Guam has applied for $78 million. So there was an extra $10 million that they had, and they used that to reach the compromise that led to the passage of the budget on Saturday.
Okay, so it's just a request here.
It's just a request.
Because I went to the boss and I requested a raise. Basically what it sounds like.
And the warning was issued from Adelup on Saturday. Said, hey, we made the request on Wednesday of last week. It hasn't arrived yet, but the lawmakers are counting on $78 million in Section 30, not the $68 that was originally budgeted.
So it feels kind of flimsy there, Buzzy.
That was the warning from the governor. Yeah.
This is a shaky platform to begin with, and on top of it, now you
don't
get
count
those,
your chickens
get those guys in the Ed Sullivan show, and they put this little tube down, and they put a little board, and then try to balance on that, and then they put everything on another tube and another board, and they try to keep everything balanced. I think that's what it looks like in my head here. We're asking for now. They might give us the additional $10 million. They could, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They're counting on it.
There's the possibility that they could do that. But if they do now.
Lester did say that he's confident that that's a figure, and that historically they have always granted that. There may be reconciliation in the years to come. Yeah.
Right. Which we've also
the
seen.
check would, yeah. But the check would be here first.
So we're looking for basically an interest-free loan from the federal government of about $10 million. Ken, you get all that?
Yes, and on that same basis, I want the banks to double my credit limit on all my credit cards. I mean, after all, I can base my spending based on that request, just like government of Guam is.
Amazing. Hey, do me a favor. Take that link that you sent over and that you sent to me in the email and copy and paste it onto the Facebook Live so that people can watch it. I mean, if for no other reasons, entertainment purposes. I don't know that that you are too far off from too many people's thoughts. Give me the bottom line. Do you make an endorsement or is it criticism of all five?
No, I do make an endorsement. And at the end of 2 years of analysis and following all the players tearing their platforms apart, I've decided to endorse Frank Hogan.
Frank. Okay. So
I'll put the links up on the live feed as well, because I put a playlist where I broke them down so you don't have to watch the whole half hour. You can go to your favorite contender.
Okay, and see what you got to say. I thought some interesting stuff on Lou, and then like I said, I stopped. So at the end of it,
if you like the first 12 minutes, you'll love the rest.
Can't imagine. I can't imagine. All right, Ken, always fun talking with you. 6:54 in the morning. That's Ken LG, a well-known pundit. I'm getting this here forwarded to me from Kevin Kerrigan, Media Partners. This is from Kevin Riley, who is the spokesman for the Guam Fire Department. It says, Media Partners, Guam Fire Rescue units continue to search the area in and around where the missing hiker was last seen. Working in conjunction with the U.S. Coast Guard, the Guam Army National Guard has also joined in the search, providing helo support for aerial searches. Please advise the public that drones are prohibited in the area. Lots and lots of people want to help out, but please leave it to the professionals. Volunteers are still being prohibited due to inclement weather and rising river conditions due to the heavy rainfalls that Guam has experienced over the last couple of days. At 5:45 last night, GFD and GPD personnel returned from searching the river from the San Carlos swimming hole to Leo Palace. The missing hiker has not been located. Response efforts will continue now that the morning light has occurred. So, as I say, I know there's a lot of people that want to help out. And I think the best way to help out right now certainly is with prayer. A lot of family is there, and a lot of the friends. Dueñas men are there, and their families. Once you're in it, you're in it, and so maybe run up there with some water, maybe some food, something like that. If you've got a tent that you can help erect, keep these guys out of the sun and the rain that's been falling as a result of all of this. Maybe a little, little creature comforts like that might be essential to help support the family and the friends and those that are actually involved in the rescue effort. 6:56 a.m. It's the Ray Gibson Show, Facebook Live, and a number of comments that are already working here today. Where is it? Where's the one that I thought was the most interesting? Who wrote it? Rico Blancafor. On Saturday, the gun grabber was visually irked when asked about the Glock party. Still don't believe him. Good at Bola Bola. Rico Blancafor writing that this morning. But I didn't want to ask directly about the gun grab incident. People already knew what it was, and I kind of wanted to bring it to the update stage. And in my notes, there's a letter that Senator Telena Nelson was supposed to be with us on Friday morning and is penciled in for this morning at 8:30. As soon as we're done with the headlines, we'll bring her in. I want to talk to her about a couple of things, including this. And it was a note that she had written to Attorney General Barrett Anderson. I'm writing to request a status update on the July 7th matter involving Lieutenant Governor Raymond S. Tenorio. While I know that you do not comment specifically on ongoing cases, I respectfully request that you update our community on the disposition in this matter. It's been a long time now, and people are starting to ask questions. And I'd asked Ray, in order to get into the question about the gun grab and the Glock party, I got the answer I expected that I was going to get. That's why I asked it twice, is why do you not? You should have reached out to Senator Telena Nelson and find out if you can get your signature on this as well. And whether Telena was doing it for political points or maybe she's genuinely interested in all this is fine. Either way. But I told Ray, and I'll say it again on the radio, I think Ray needs to now go to the Attorney General's office and say, come on, what's up? We've been talking about this for a while. I'm the guy that's out there stumping. I'm the guy that has to answer questions from Ray Gibson about the Glock party and the disposition of that. And you know what? It's hard for me to come up with some kind of an answer. This cloud it hangs over Ray Tenorio. And so I asked Ray, I said, you need to go and join Talena Nelson in this request for the update on the update. I just don't
the
think
AG has responded, by the way.
I did not see that. Do you have a copy of that?
It's on your chat. It's a one-line response that says, I am in receipt of your letter dated August 8th, 2018. Respectfully, I am unable to comment. Sincerely, Elizabeth Barrett Anderson.
That sucks. That sucks. That just, yeah, I got it. Thanks. Don't call me. I'll call you. When it's ready, when the bell on the oven dings, that's when you'll know. I'll send you the deal when. All right, I got it. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I wonder what the play is. I can't still be chomping through this. The evidence is all where it needs to be. There's an admission from the guy. He said, "What's so tough?" 7 o'clock. I don't know. I forgot to go to law school, so you know how it is. 7 o'clock in the morning or darn close to it. The radio station is KUSG Haggadah. This is 93.3 FM. The Point. On the way, we've got Fox News Live on the other side of that. Kevin Kerrigan with a look at all the big stories, and then we'll take a look and see what the market did on their Friday, our Saturday morning, and maybe see if there's any big news here that's worth talking about on the financial scene. Jerry Roberts' Extra Point, that's up as well. Stick around, Brown. It's all happening right here on this radio station, The Point.
Signs, chants, and speeches in D.C. I'm Rob Dawson, Fox News. White nationalists are just ending what they call the Unite the Right event, just a stone's throw away from the White House. Greeting them, counter-protesters.
No Nazis! No KKK! No fascist USA! No Nazis! No KKK!
Fox's Peter Ducey was there as the marchers emerged from the D.C. Metro.
There are a ton of police boxing them in. This line of police officers with bicycles and motorcycles, these are all counter-protesters. There was a ton of profanity. Some of the counter-protesters were grabbing at flags that some of these white nationalist protesters had. This is about as chaotic a scene as you could have in Washington, D.C.
The counter-protesters didn't stop the speeches, though. Unite the Right rally organizer Jason Kessler says an event like this is important for free speech.
Now people are scared to stand up for their rights. People who are pro-white, or people who are conservative, or people who are Trump supporters.
Kessler tried to get the rally back in Charlottesville, Virginia, like it was last year, but the city wouldn't let him after the rally turned deadly when a self-proclaimed white nationalist drove through a crowd and killed counter-protester Heather Heyer. And on the one-year anniversary of last year's tragedy, protests and marches lined Charlottesville again. Mayor Nakia Walker tells CBS's Face the Nation there's still healing that needs to happen in her city.
The issues were not the rally or just statues. The issue is this deep-seated racism that we have here, and that's the challenge. And that's a lot of work, and it takes commitment.
The demonstrations in Charlottesville this year have been largely peaceful and heavy police presence. It's shaping up to be an exciting final round of the PGA Championship. Brooks Koepka leads by 2 strokes over Justin Thomas. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
The average price for a gallon of regular gas edged up 2 cents over the past couple of weeks to $2.93. But industry analyst Trilby Lundberg says some relief could be on the way.
Saudi Arabia had already been raising its production some. It is expected, because of the OPEC agreement, OPEC plus Russia, that output by some countries will continue rising. And it may be an offset to declines in places like Venezuela. Also, the U.S. production is rising.
The highest average price for the lower 48 states is San Francisco at $3.69 a gallon. The lowest was in Jackson, Mississippi at $2.53. Turkey's finance minister tells a newspaper the country is drafting a plan to ease the concerns of financial markets after its currency, the lira, plunged last week, ending with a record low on Friday, and it fell further in Asian markets today. A contributing reason is President Trump doubled metals tariffs on the country over disagreements. When it comes to President Trump's performance on the world stage, senators are voicing their concerns.
On the subject of Iran, South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham says he's glad the president saw the nuclear deal as bad for the U.S. and moved to end it.
I appreciate the president withdrawing from the nuclear agreement with Iran and trying to break the Ayatollah's back economically.
But Rhode Island Democrat Jack Reed says all that has done is isolated the U.S. from its allies in Europe.
In fact, the Europeans are going to lengths to try to cushion the blow to the Iranians.
Both men on Fox News Sunday. Reed says Iran sees that as an advantage over the U.S. as they assert influence in Iraq and Syria. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Longtime liberal state senator in Texas, A.R. Babe Schwartz, has died. As a child of Polish immigrants, he fought for civil rights and public education. He was 92. I'm Rob Dawson, Fox News Radio.
A strong economy depends on a strong middle class. Businesses need help to survive in these tough times, and new industries are needed. As your governor, I will propose tax cuts for small businesses. We will streamline government operations to create a more business-friendly environment. We will invest in infrastructure and in our people by expanding opportunities to learn much-needed trades. I'm in to help get us there, and I humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card, and upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Howdy, folks! Just when you thought our famous KFC Crispy Strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC Crispy Strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Offering state-of-the-art MRI, full-field digital mammograms, full digital x-rays, and 4D ultrasounds. FHP Health Center provides comprehensive diagnostic medical imaging with the convenience and access our patients deserve. Our highly specialized board-certified radiologist ensures high-quality, patient-focused care with every visit. Call the FHP Health Center at 646-5825 and press 2 to schedule your appointment today. Most insurance is accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The search is resuming this morning for 15-year-old Father Dueñas High School student Xavier Akima. He was hiking with friends Saturday afternoon when he was caught in a downpour and swept away while crossing the Longfit River near San Carlos Falls. The other hikers with him returned safely, but Akima could not be found. Search and rescue teams from the Guam Fire Department and the Guam Police launched a massive search late Saturday afternoon, which continued throughout the day yesterday. The Navy's Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 25 was also called in to conduct aerial sweeps. They've been combing an area around San Carlos Falls, along the trails near it, and along the Longfit River towards Chalanpago. Members of the Guam National Guard also joined in the search, along with community volunteers. Family members and friends have set up tents near the search location and rescue command post, praying and hoping for the best. Again, that search is resuming this morning. Guam lawmakers worked through Saturday night, finally hammering out a compromise that earned enough votes to win passage of a spending plan for the 2019 fiscal year. The budget bill includes a minimum of $78 million in new taxes, $60 million from the continuation of the 5% business privilege tax that was supposed to expire on October 1st, roughly $11 million from the increase in the tobacco tax, and just over $8 million from a property tax increase. Bill 232 passed by a vote of 8-7 about 8 o'clock Saturday night. The vote came following the Friday afternoon rejection of the original version of the spending package. One of the stumbling points on Friday was the original budget's reliance on SAR funding, delinquent taxes not yet collected. That was eliminated in the revised version passed on Saturday. Another barrier was the defunding of the deputy director positions, all of whom would have been out of a job October 1st. However, funds to cover their salaries has now been extended until January 3rd. Voting for the revised budget were Democratic Senators Tom Atta, Talina Nelson, Josan Augustine, and Speaker Benjamin Cruz. They were joined by Republican Senators Mary Torres, James Espaldon, Tommy Morrison, and Luis Muñoz. Opposing the budget bill were Democratic Senators Regine Bisco-Lee, Frank Uggan Jr., Dennis Rodriguez Jr., Therese Terlahi, and Michael San Nicolas. Republican Senators Fernando Estevez and Will Castro also voted against the budget bill. It now goes on to Governor Calvo for final action, and yesterday afternoon the governor issued a statement saying he did not anticipate that the budget debate would be as tumultuous as it was. He thought there would be some reductions in cost and some revenue enhancement that would cover the anticipated $145 million revenue gap brought on by the Trump tax cuts. He said he was thankful that some senators realized that the SAR funding as originally proposed was not a real revenue source. He said his team would now review the budget bill carefully. However, he did not say whether he would sign it. We'll have more news after this.
Kohler Power Systems are available for rent from Morico Equipment in Tamuning. 50 to 500 kilowatt Kohler diesel generators on trailers or on the ground. Call Roland at Morico now, 649-1946, or click MoricoEquipment.com. Kohler Power Systems are made for Guam conditions. Aluminum, weatherproof, and soundproof enclosures for Guam's tropical climate. Kohler generators can run all day with the correct size fuel tank. Call Morico now, 649-1946, or click MoricoEquipment.com.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
News time here at The Point is 12 minutes past 7 a.m. A military contractor that was recently fined for accidentally spilling 100 gallons of jet fuel and 10 gallons of fuel-contaminated water waited nearly 3 months before reporting the incident to the Guam Environmental Protection Agency. Guam EPA Acting Deputy Administrator Nick Rupley Lee confirmed that the spill occurred in August last year. It wasn't reported until November. The contractor is a joint venture between the Nova Group and the Underground Construction Company. They were fined $99,500. The areas affected by the jet fuel spill were in Agana Heights and Harmon. The jet fuel spill occurred during an upgrade to a pipeline from the Sassa Valley to Anderson Air Force Base. The overall upgrade project costs $63 million. The EPA says that the contaminated areas have since been cleaned up. Civil Service Commission has instructed the Port Authority of Guam to restart the hiring process for an assistant operations manager after learning that the applicant, Christopher Regis, was rated incorrectly. The CSC initiated an investigation at the request of Simon Pinola, a Port Authority employee and in-house applicant for the manager's position. Regis had indicated that his prior employer was Matson Navigation. However, CSC staff found that he was actually employed with the DSG group, which is a Matson subcontractor. The initial review recommended that Regis's hiring be declared null and void. Regis explained that it was confusing from the start because the company he worked for was a subcontractor. He claimed Matson knew all along in detail what work he performed. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray now is looking for the weather.
I know exactly where it is because I stuck it on the wall. I put spit in the back of it, and I stuck it on the wall. And the crazy thing is it stuck. What do you think is in my spit that makes the paper stick to the paint? I don't know. Today will be hot with isolated showers. Moisture moving in tomorrow could keep the rest of the week mostly cloudy and damp. For today, partly cloudy skies, hot, isolated showers, northeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Daytime highs about 90 degrees with the heat index hovering around 101. Man, and the guy's got to go back into the boondocks looking for Xavier. This is why I'm suggesting if you're in the area, maybe swing by a gas station, grab a case of water for $5 or $6 and take it up there. And maybe some ice as well. Overnight lows today about 78 degrees. Sunset will be at 6:43. Sunrise tomorrow morning about 6:07. That's news and weather together right here on The Point.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Salisbury steak, named after an actual guy named Salisbury. It's not from a place called Salisbury. Now you know. And you can find it, no matter what the origin is, at King's for lunch every Monday. Tomorrow, beefsteak. Tomorrow, Wednesdays, pork sinigang. There's meatloaf on Thursdays and beef tenaktak on Friday. None of this sound good to you? Or you're going, yeah, it sounds good. It's just not what I'm in the mood for. Pick 2 or pick 3 combo is working for you today. Lunch at King's.
Another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes. Bring you portions, the really, really good parts, the very interesting things. When I talk about it on the radio, just think First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
It's not too late to celebrate the possibilities with the latest smartphone sale at GTA. We have amazing deals on the best Samsung smartphones, including the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus for only $299, the Galaxy S9 for only $199, and the Galaxy Note 8 for only $149. But these amazing deals won't last much longer, so come into a GTA store today. Conditions apply. GTA, your island, your network.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show.
I am in receipt of your letter. No comment. Thanks very much for coming. Drive carefully and good night. That's what Liz Barrett Anderson wrote back to Lena Nelson. Yeah. That's Your Honor, That's not going over well with some of the observers here on the Facebook Live who are suggesting, well, gee, it must be a cover-up if that's what's happening. 7:17, that's the risk, right? 7:17 in the morning, and here we are on the program, and in a place where I normally would spend a lot of time talking about what's happening in the markets, and I will. All the markets are down. NASDAQ was having a pretty good week last week, and they fell into the toilet. Why? Actually, they were on an 8-day winning streak, and they fell into the toilet. The lira in Turkey is down. And you're going, what does that have to do with anything? Trump doubled up on the tariffs, I think, on some metals that come out of Turkey, and that sent their markets down, sent the valuation of the lira down, and it had a ripple effect virtually everywhere. Dow Jones Industrial Average off by 196 points, 25,313. The S&P 500 at 2833, and the NASDAQ at 7839. They were on a big winning streak. Amazon was looking good. Some of the other tech guys were looking real sweet. But they couldn't sustain it. What are we doing for some of the other markets? Stand by. Shanghai index is up. The Nikkei is down by about 300 points, 22,298. Hang Seng at 23,366. Let me see. The DAX down. FTSE is down. The CAC is down. I just like saying CAC every once in a while. The CAC markets are down. It's 7:18 in the morning. Do I have good news for you on oil? Depends on what you're buying. If you're in the States and you're listening, the benchmark is up. Maybe not good for you at the pump. $67.63. That's up by about 82 cents from where it was when I looked at it on Friday. Now, for us out here that live in the land of Singaporean crude, the Tapas crude, that's the stuff, the refined product eventually turns into gasoline that goes in our car. The big news here, and I don't know if it's related to what happened in Turkey. All things are related, aren't they? $73.24. That's off by almost $3 worth of trade value for Tapas. I hope that's the beginning of a trend that lasts long enough for the gas companies around here to start buying it cheaper and then passing that savings on to us, so I can buy more beer and Slim Jims in the convenience store. You know, I spend a little bit of time there in the place. I buy a little bit more because I'm looking for that break, because the legislature, in its wisdom, and this is going to get signed by the governor, in its infinite wisdom, has decided to take that 5%. Remember, we just wanted it to be temporary, the increase in the business privilege tax?
It's going away soon.
No, it's not ever going away. They're sticking it to us. That's permanent. It was supposed to go away at the beginning of the fiscal year, but they've taken away the sunset on that. Kevin, have they removed all of the sunset provisions on that?
They've removed the 5% continues. It was originally scheduled to sunset on October 1st, but the budget bill they passed Saturday keeps it in there
until there's no end.
Yeah, no
There's
sunset.
no end. Yeah,
a motion to sunset it was introduced by Senator Rodriguez, I think, on Saturday, and that was defeated.
And
there is no sunset.
The logic behind it is the businesses have already gotten used to it. The customers have already seen that increase, and they still got to come back and buy the cup of coffee. They still got to come back and buy the school uniforms and the back to school stuff at those prices. And the theory was that they weren't going to roll it back anyway. So we might as well leave it where it was.
There's logic, and then there's politicians' logic.
But we told you in the beginning that was going to happen. I said on the radio, because we've seen it already play out back in 2004, 2005. They did the same thing. They went and they monkeyed around with the business privilege tax, and then they rolled back 6 or 7 months later because they couldn't take the political heat. But by that time, everybody had kind of gotten used to it, and the businesses did not roll it back. And we said so in February and in March when they were playing around with it. Said, you guys got to be real careful about tax policy. This is not something that you can just mess around with on a whim. But do they listen to people with experience that have seen it happen before?
No.
Apparently not. So
prices never go down.
Prices never go backwards. And like I said, why would the businesses do it? You went to business school. You test the extent of what the consumers ability and desire to pay. And if they keep coming back, even at those new prices, well, guess what? That's now the going price for a cup of coffee or a T-shirt.
The market has been reset.
And there it is. 7:21 in the morning, and about time for Jerry Roberts to hit us with the extra point. And usually it's pre-recorded, but we look forward to the opportunities when it is not pre-recorded to have Jerry Roberts in the studio live. What'd you do all weekend?
This is actually a hologram you're looking at. This is pre-recorded.
Oh. I didn't realize we didn't. I did. Somebody must have uploaded the software over the weekend when I wasn't looking. How about that?
And somebody just said to themselves, if that's what holograms look like, I don't want any of it.
From the fertile mind of Jerry Roberts, here's this morning's Extra Point.
How many of an organization's customer service decisions are based on providing a better overall experience, and how many are based on fear? I am Jerry Roberts, and let's dig into this topic today on the Extra Point. One of the most popular courses offered by Guam Training is called CSI Guam, CSI standing for Customer Service Initiative. It's not your average off-the-shelf look at the subject. It makes people laugh, and it also makes them cry. My intent is that by the end, people come face-to-face with the reality of what business they are really in and how the rules they set up for customers can impact the overall enjoyment in doing business with them. I'm in the Ross Tamooning store a few days ago with my son. He picks out a pile of clothes, and we get to the fitting area. He chooses the maximum number of garments that you can take in, 8, and walks into the fitting room. I follow him, and the young attendant says, I'll need a number 2. But I'm only here to watch my son. I don't have anything to try on, and they've never given me a number before. Here comes the words I hate. That's our policy. I feel an extra point possible, so I decline the number and follow my son inside. Now, he likes rules, not those that apply to him, of course, but those that apply to Dad. So he pushes me back outside to take the number. The young lady hands me the 0, looking at me and grumbling something under her breath. When we finish with those items, we come back to get more from his pile. These included shorts with a belt. All told, maybe 6 items. But no, not 6. The same attendant tells me that the belts have to be counted separately. Now, wait a second. They're not sold separately, but they have to be counted separately. Because why? That's their policy. Well, I'd never seen that before, so if it was their policy, it's either new or hasn't been enforced by everybody. And I said, your store's policies are amazing. More grumbling. So from 6 items, we suddenly had 11. My kid grabs 8, and she exchanged my 0 for a 3. Then while he tried on the clothes, I jotted down some notes for today's commentary. So what's happening here? It's that fear I referred to. Fear of an obvious shoplifting problem. But with more rules, the possibility of annoying more customers is greater. Look, I'm not beating up on Ross. In general, we're happy with shopping there. I understand the theft problem, and I know that losses in shoplifting are simply passed along to customers. Maybe it's a bigger problem in Guam than elsewhere, and that's the reason for uniformed security personnel in more stores these days. Kmart and Costuless still check receipts on the way out the door. Home Depot stopped that a long time ago. I do know that theft is a big issue in mainland stores too, but I've never had anybody check my receipt when shopping in a store there. I want stores to do well, so more come here, and we have better shopping options. I think businesses need to constantly seek a balance between risk reduction and customer inconvenience. It's a tough call. Maybe anti-shoplifting drones are the answer. Deploy a whole squadron of them to follow everybody around the store. And the bottom line, if I come to your store, it's because I made a conscious decision to choose you. Now, make me glad I did. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 in the Ray Gibson Show, where it's always a welcome place to be. I'm Jerry Roberts.
No, that's not our policy. We've changed that. We've changed that. It's funny because I go shopping for clothes so infrequently. And so my daughter and I were shopping a couple of weeks ago, and we went into Tommy, and I was setting up a purchase of these Wham Video color Budweiser red pants, and she looked at me and she said no, and so I was goofing with her, so I took a selfie of it and posted it up on Facebook, and then I saw these shorts that I really liked, orange and canary yellow, and it's a Home Depot orange and canary yellow shorts, and she looked at me, literally rolled her eyes and said, I'm leaving, and walked out of Tommy Hilfiger. So I went back a few nights later with a friend, because I'm not brave enough to do this with my daughter. I went in with another friend, but I wanted somebody to be able to see what I look like in these clothes. And so I asked her, I said, stand outside, stand over here, come with me to the dressing area, stand outside the door, and let me know what you think when I come out. And the lady at Tommy wouldn't let her do that.
I know.
I said, well, it's not like I'm asking her to come into the dressing room with me. I mean, I understand that would be outside of most policies. It's not an airline, for heaven's sakes. but I just
What do you mean by that?
I want her to stand. In some airlines, the flight attendants will go into the. You didn't know that? You should always ask and try to fly first class. So I said I just want her to be able to stand there, and she can't come in here, and so I had to change and then go back outside and go find her and say, okay, how do I look? Did this 2 or 3 times. Ended up making the purchase, but obviously I wasn't happy about it either. Are there better ways to do this? I'm sure there are. Are they very, very nice about it? Did they take me from there into the non-Korean line?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, because they need to get credit for this. They absolutely.
I saw
Tommy
it.
Hilfiger,
I had
they
not
need to
seen
get
this
credit
before.
for it.
It was amazing.
At Tommy Hilfiger, this might be discouraging for a lot of people when they go shop there because they see all of these people and think, oh my God, it's going to take me forever to get through this line. They have 2 sets of lines. Yep. There is the tourist line, or as I say, the Korean line, because virtually 99% of the tourists are from Korea. Yeah. And then at the very end of it is a spot. There's a couple of registers that are open for Gaijin, for the Gailo like us. So I thought, okay, that's cool. That's nice. That's at least they recognize.
But if you don't see it, you don't know. Because that's where after Ross, that's where we ended up.
Uh-huh.
And we got him a shirt. And they dragged us out. They said, well, he's not Korean. So or if he is, he's had a different kind of an operation or something. So they dragged us and said, look, there's a line over there. And, with all the people in the way, you'd never see it. So they take us over there. There was nobody in the line. We just went right up there. In fact, they didn't take us to that register because there was an opening at one of the registers where the tourists go. Right. They dragged us in there.
So I'm curious about so Asians that live on Guam, and I got a friend, it's Doyan, and pretty Korean girl. So I'm wondering what if she. Does she get to use both?
No, you get to the back of the line over there, right?
But I went to high school here. Doesn't matter. You're Korean. You get in the Korean line.
Yeah. Show me some ID.
Let me see your passport.
It's 7:29. I'm not sure which side of the PC line we're on right now, and I don't really care. That's Jerry Roberts. He does the extra point. Kevin Kerrigan's got your headlines coming up after these.
You've been waiting, and now it's here. Furniture Kathy Style's grand opening after 12 months of putting together an exciting, delicious, salivating, full-scale, real furniture store that has absolutely everything you need for a beautiful home. Beautiful textures, up-to-date styles, and prices that will blow your mind during our grand opening. Starting now, Furniture Kathy Style throughout the store. Bargains, bargains, bargains. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Furniture Kathy Style in Hagutnya. Open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
7:29, and it is drive time on Monday morning. And enjoy, if you will, the last 7:30 in the morning where I say traffic looks clear, most intersections, most areas. Because this time tomorrow, my prediction is it is going to be all red all over the island, especially where the schools are at and roadways that lead up to school. Car line at Harvest. Can you think of car line at St. John's tomorrow? I think Upper Tumon's going to be a mess. So like I said, enjoy it right now. There's a few spots where traffic is building up like it always does. Up and down Marine Corps Drive around the intersection by the Farmers Market and leading up to the intersection of 1 and 3, although it's not crazy busy there right now. I am seeing a line of traffic on the Hospital, I'm sorry, not Hospital Road, EPOW Road from about where Mammoth Street is, just before you get to the 76. You might see some slowing down, a line of traffic. Is it breakfast time at Papa's? I don't know about that. Let me see. Marine Corps Drive all the way down south is looking pretty good. Don't see anything happening except the line of traffic, but moving pretty quick in front of Naval Station down in Sumai, nothing in front of Navy Hospital, and at this time, nothing in front of Anderson Air Force Base. So, like I said, 7:30, 7:31 in the morning, it's not so bad. Enjoy it, because I think tomorrow it'll be a whole nother world.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
The analysis on Facebook Live about the budget that has been passed by the legislatures. We're going to be seeing the prices go up, private sector wages not going up to help. Well, the idea was that the Trump tax cuts were supposed to be doing that job. Don't know if that's happening at where you work. Maybe, maybe not. A couple of new names. Hi, Vivian Sablan Leon Guerrero. It is lurking on the Facebook Live this morning. Vetabanas, Tim Rohr is on. And in response to Jerry Roberts and the idea about checking receipts as you exit, Gus Jasanga says Walmart checks receipts as you exit. And I'm going, I don't know. I've been to a couple of Walmarts in the States. I don't remember that happening. It's not to say that you're wrong. Maybe the Walmart near you or the one that you were at did it. I know they do it at Cost You Less and the Kmart here, although it's not always 100%. So when I leave Kmart, I try to make it so that I get out when the guy's not there, because I don't understand that job. But it's not like anybody actually looks in the bag that I'm holding and then makes some kind of cross reference. It seems to me like it's almost a GovGuam job. We have to do something, and there needs to be a guy that does it. See, I'm going to screw it up for everybody because now they're listening and they're going, you have to open every single bag now. Ray on the radio said that you're not doing your job. I'm just saying, it's not like I see any actual theft prevention going on. It's this make work thing. Here's a Sharpie, or not a Sharpie, here's a highlighter, and just make a line on the receipt. That's your job, to make a line on a receipt. How did we do? I made a line on 100% of the receipts today.
I mean,
Does there still stuff get ripped off? Yes. But I made a line. I did my job.
Fact is, if I wanted to, I could outrun the door checker person. If I wanted to steal something, they're old. They can't run.
7:33 a.m. And time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7:33. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: federal drug enforcement agents, along with members of GPD's Mandanya Drug Task Force, seizing undisclosed amounts of crystal meth, cash, and drug paraphernalia during a raid Friday morning in Dededo. The search warrant was executed at a home on West Achote Court. The area was blocked off for a while as local and federal law enforcement agents searched the home on that street and the vehicles parked outside of it. At least 3 people were arrested: 41-year-old Yosana Eileen San Augustine, 24-year-old John J. Roberto San Augustine, and 24-year-old Daniel June Regis Roberto. They're all facing a variety of allegations, including illegal possession of a controlled substance, conspiracy, and child neglect. Following their approval of the 2019 budget Saturday night, lawmakers went on to approve 2 spending measures that appropriate the remaining tax amnesty funds expected to be collected by the deadline on September 5th for payment of the amnesty funds. Speaker Benjamin Cruz's Bill 329 appropriates $6.8 million from the general fund to GMH specifically for the purpose of correcting the deficiencies identified in the April recertification survey by the Centers for Medicaid and Medicaid Services. It passed 15-0. Bill 330, meanwhile, introduced by Senator Frank Uggan Jr., also won unanimous approval. It provides $1.5 million to jumpstart plans to renovate Simon Sanchez High School. The money will cover part of the cost to hire an owner's agent engineer to begin the architectural and engineering planning for the project. Attorney Jonathan Kwan has received a legislative support to be the Superior Court of Guam's newest magistrate judge. Guam senators Saturday night voting unanimously to approve his appointment. Other nominees getting unanimous approval were Stephen Carrera to serve as a member of the Guam Environmental Protection Agency Board, and Ann Roth to serve as a member of Guam EPA's board as well. Father Michael Crisostomo will serve as a member of the Criminal Injuries Compensation Commission, and Luis Baza will serve as a member of the Civil Service Commission. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Yes, I will. It's 7:36 iConnect time here in the studios of The Point. And think about iConnect. These are practical people that run a practical shop. They don't think it's wise for you to spend any more money than you need to on practical technology that you need to communicate in 2018, whether it's the internet, whether it's mobile, or whether it is today's version of push-to-talk. Really exciting stuff. If you've got an office full of people or fleets out there in the wholesale delivery business, and you need to know right now, you don't have time to wait for blue check marks. You need to know now that somebody heard the chirp chirp. That's what you use. Push to talk with iConnect.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Portions of the program also brought to you by my friends over at APL. That's short for American President Lines. APL is shipping the future.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
It's 7:38. Portions of the program also brought to you by MRE, Micronesia Renewable Energy, where they want to take the space you got on the rooftop and turn it into electric that you can pay a whole lot less for.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Yeah, 7:38, and 7 minutes ago I said how clear everything was, and boy, a lot can change on drive time, especially on Mondays. As I said, imagine how much more exciting it's going to be tomorrow when there's school buses out there. Yay! In front of Navy Hospital, traffic slowing down there. 8, 10, and 16 clear right now because everybody is stuck at the intersection of 16 and 10 Alpha. There's 2 or 3 different ways that you can turn into that 76 up there, and it looks like everybody is using all of them. Southbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive leading up to the intersection of 1 and 3 is beginning to slow down. Traffic on the Upper Tumon coming out of Tumon, Marine Corps Drive up Santos Hill. You're going to see traffic slowing down through there as well. And my guess is that before too much longer, we'll also start to see things snag up a little bit on Route 10, kind of on the way to the University and GCC areas, just because. I mean, it ain't school, but there's still people that need to prep for all of that. So that's what traffic is looking like right now, traffic here on The Point.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
My name is Ray Gibson, and a guy from the village with an interesting job. That's how I've always categorized what I do here. Journalism, credibility, all of those things. I leave that to Kevin. And my job here is to take a look at as much media as I can get and make as many observations as I can, and then present them to you on the radio. I was going to say in as an unbiased yet entertaining way, but yeah, you got to have a little bit of bias around here. Everybody's got feelings one way or the other about something. You can't always, stay down the middle of a couple of lines, especially when sometimes you're going, well, that's just kind of glaring, isn't it? That perspective, that point of view, that explanation. Just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't feel right, doesn't flow in my head. And sometimes I get those opinions, not for myself, not because I've got some genius. It's just seeing what people have got to say on other media and the social media that is now has become so prevalent around here. Citizen journalism is a big deal, and that's why we've got the WhatsApp working here at the radio station. There's a WhatsApp account that has been set up on a specific number. That number is 988-5874. 5874. If you look at the letters and the numbers on the keypad, 5874 is KUSG, so it's easy to remember. 988-5874. And so if you get something, if you see something out there that you think is interesting, send it along on the WhatsApp. Video is great. Audio is awesome. Pictures are awesome. And maybe just texting as well. Always nice to see that in the feed. Nice to know that you're out there looking for interesting things, just like I am. Haven't had a chance to go chapter and verse. I've got a table of contents every morning. I get into the radio station and we'll begin to write notes about different things that I've seen in different places. Stories on television, stories in the newspapers, stories on the internet that I think are interesting. When we get to the small talk portion of the show, because I don't want to waste drive time talking about it. But there's a story I sort of started reading last week called "Airports Are Taking Off." Once merely a way to get from one place to another, airports have become commercial destinations unto themselves. I have been, forever, a fan of the Guam International Airport. Might not have always loved everybody that has gone through the place and done the work of keeping the airport running, but I like our airport. I always thought, you've been around the round world, and ours is not a bad-looking airport. When it was brand new, it was looking good. There's a couple of tiles above the arrivals area that we could use a coat of paint on or an exchange. I will always be a perennial critic of the restrooms at the airport. I think we could go in there a little bit more often, and I don't know, a little bit more Febreze or whatever it is that will make it so it doesn't smell like pee-pee in the men's room all the time. I think that work can be done. I know that they had problems with the air conditioning, but still, in all, end of the day, I like our airport. I'm pretty comfortable in the airport until it's time to buy water. I hate that. It's like they know that you had to throw away your perfectly good water before you got to the TSA guys. But I'm sorry, I digress. The idea here is that there are numerous places across the country where they're taking their airports and turning them, as it says, into almost destinations unto themselves. And what more can be done with our Guam International Airport? And I'm not just talking about the terminal. I'm talking about the area around the Guam International Airport. Somebody had the idea once upon a time to put a restaurant over at the end of it. And as much as I don't like the idea that airport resources are being used for private sector activities, that's changing. So it's possible that we might see even more airport properties being developed that have absolutely nothing to do with passengers or cargo. How about a hotel up in that area? And I know what you're going to say. Well, there is a hotel up in that area. On Route 8, there's a hotel. There's no easy way to get, I was going to say, there's no easy way, but it's not inexpensive. There's got to be an easier way to be able to get from where the airport is to where that hotel is on Route 8. That's right. We can go under the tarmac, underneath all of that stuff. And you're going, nah, you got to be kidding. Chicago. There's the Chicago International Airport, which is probably the most incredible airport I've ever been in. I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to remember San Francisco looked pretty good.
Busiest in the world.
San Diego looks pretty good. And the airport, oh, my God, the airport in Singapore. But, yeah, O'Hare Airport, you've got Concourse, what is it, A and B. But A is over here, or is it B and C? I forget whichever it is. Because I remember I wanted to go to a United Lounge at that airport. And the lady looked at my ticket. She says, the really smart thing for you to do is to go to the other United Lounge. And I said, there's another United Lounge here? And the lady says, we're United. This is Chicago. Yeah, there's another United Lounge here. I said, where is it? She says, you go underneath the tarmac. And I said, what do you mean you go underneath the tarmac? She says, yeah, there's a tunnel that you go down into. And it's the craziest thing in the world. I don't know, quarter mile, something like that, underground digging. But anyway, it was very, very cool. Made it to the other place and nice. So I'll read in the 9 o'clock hour, or maybe in one of the other small talk portions of the program, some of the things that they're doing in some of the other airports that we can do as well. More outlets, free internet, free charging devices, that kind of thing. 746. I'm sorry. I said I didn't want to talk about it during this time, and what did I end up doing? All right. So on the table of contents, and all of the fun things that we get to talk about every once in a while are some incredible stories, and many of them you've heard in the newscast with Kevin Kerrigan talking about that drug bust, the Mandania guys that went down selling atzote up in Dededo and effectuated arrests and searches of vehicles and the household, and apparently got enough probable cause to actually make the arrests. And what's not clear in my head is, and it's a good story. You know, it has all of the W's that are all answered and lined up. But it got me thinking about it. And a question for you, wherever you live. Maybe it's not selling a tortilla up in Dededo. Maybe it's just down the street where you live. Are there drug people near you? Ponder. I'm not asking you. Maybe I am next door neighbor.
Who knows?
Maybe the guy down the street.
But if there are, call police.
Call the police. Let them know. Even if you just suspect, there's a house down the road, and nobody ever sleeps at that house. There's traffic that's coming and going and coming and going all hours of the day, all hours of the night. In some cases, that might be a pretty good indication that the people that are living in that home are doing something that might not be on the right side of the law. Simply because they're awake 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Yes, in my mind, that's probable cause. Unless there's a sign outside that says, please be quiet, day sleeper inside. It seems to me that most people in this town, for the most part, if you're keeping wild hours like that in the neighborhood, where there's kids and bus stops and dogs and things like that. Maybe there might be something hinky going on in there. But it's still happy to see all of these Mandania drug raids that are taking place around here. I'm crazy about the idea. And if you've got the slightest suspicion, it's okay. You can make anonymous donations to the Guam Police Department. I'm sure they're happy to have somebody swing by and see if there's any other kind of probable cause. Also excited to see there might be another gavel behind a bench somewhere that will be able to gavel guys in and sentence people to the actual justice that they deserve in this town. Congratulations to now Judge John Kwan. I'm happy to see that confirmation go through. And it's always nice to have another robe in there. And I'm saying that for a couple of reasons. John and I, we got family connections that go back to before we were born. And the other part is if I ever get in trouble and John Kwan's in front of me, he's able to say, "Oh, I gotta what's the word? Disqualify myself," because Ray Gibson said nice things about me on the radio after my confirmation. So we'll give him another judge.
You hope.
I hope. Hey, Afashaka. You remember from the old days? GVB looking for some holiday illuminations. That's what I'm saying. My friend on Facebook this morning says, "I suspect my neighbor is a drug user and dealer." You got to call somebody. You got to reach out to the Guam Police Department and see if there's somebody over there that might be able to take it up and conduct an investigation. Oh, speaking of cop stuff. And crime stuff, $5,000 is the bail on the skimmer guy. Did you hear that? $5,000. They put the bail together on this guy, I guess in whatever the hearing was, and said it was going to be $5,000. And I thought, that's it? Only $5,000? We're talking about high-level white-collar crime going on here, technological.
And he had to surrender his passport.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. So, because I'm sure that the mob doesn't have an answer, doesn't have some kind of a workaround for that. But I wonder. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. An interesting side conversation going on Facebook Live. But I wonder if it's possible. Could it be that this guy's out? Somebody will come along and put the $5,000 down and let him out on bail. But maybe the strategy here, if there's some tactical thinking going on, maybe the strategy is for we'll let him out and then see where he goes. And then, put a tail on the guy, right? And then see where he goes, who he communicates with, who he connects to, and who his friends are. And maybe that will lead us to the next big fish in this whole, skimming deal. And Mike, don't bother typing it in there. I can't read it. Remember, I can't see it. You're going to have to tell me who it is, if that's all right.
He didn't make the bail, though.
No. But I mean, they set it so low. I mean, there's got to be a reason for that. I mean, we've seen bills up a whole lot higher. Could have gone twice that, is my understanding. So I'm wondering why they kept it at just 5.
Mr. Frank Campillo.
Very good. Other interesting story. 9 away from the top of the hour, 888-8255. That's 888-8255, TALK. WhatsApp me, 988-5874, 988-5874. Email RayGibsonShow at gmail.com. I almost said The Ray Gibson Show, but there's no the in front of it because I'm just a regular, humble dude. RayGibsonShow at gmail.com. Frank Campillo on the line from Select Care. Good morning, Frank.
Hey, good morning there, Ray Gibson.
How was your golf game? Did you golf this weekend?
Yeah, we have a regular group that goes out on Sunday, and yes, we had a good time yesterday.
But there was a tournament on Saturday, wasn't there?
I think there was a Korean tournament on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, gotcha. Because a buddy of mine was sending me kissy face selfies from there.
Yeah, I think there was one, but we didn't play on that one.
Maybe the most disturbing thing in the world is when a guy sends a kissy face selfie. I'm just gonna warn you about that right now. Reason I'm calling, a couple of interesting stories around about the possibilities for health insurance for government of Guam employees and retirees coming up in the new fiscal year, and wanted to get a sense of what's happening specifically with your organization over at Select Care and what your thoughts are for the rest of the health insurance market for the employees and retirees, because it doesn't sound good. You got the protest in there, right?
Well, as you know, one of the insurance carriers protested the RFP, and consequently, the government of Guam is on a holding pattern until that is resolved.
Mm-hmm. Who's supposed to resolve that?
So the protest went to the public auditor and is going to be heard, I believe, on September 17th. That's when the hearing is going to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And we will know what happens after that. On the other hand, as you probably know, the government of Guam has requested the current carriers to roll over the current plans, and we are in discussions about how that would occur, when will that rollover occur, and the requirements for that rollover to occur.
Okay, so tricky on the timing side because we are in the midst of a special election that's going to take place here Saturday after this to determine who the next public auditor is going to be. My understanding is that this is not something that they can just give to Yuka or whoever's running the office, right?
Well, I think despite the election, I think there is a process, and that process is in place. In fact, the hearing officer, as I understand, of this case is Attorney Camacho. So the process still continues, and the office continues to run their day-to-day operations and their appeals when necessary. So having an elected public officer at that time may not be a requirement for this appeal not to be heard. So I think it will continue, and I think it is already in the calendar. And I think Attorney Camacho is the hearing officer of that.
Well, I understand, but at some point this becomes a decision, quote, of the office, and absent somebody in the office.
Correct.
Yeah.
But at the same time, typically the decisions of the hearing officer are.
Generally, yeah, but who gets to? Does the hearing officer get to make it, or is it a statement that comes from or under the authority of the public auditor, not necessarily the guy in the office? I hear what you're saying, but it's still in all very interesting. So it won't even be until the 17th that we get a hearing on this, and the new packages were supposed to go into place at the beginning of the new fiscal year, right?
Okay, and as I said earlier, the government of Guam, through the Department of Administration, has requested to the current insurance companies to roll over the current plans.
So we know that NetCare is out. You guys are still looking at it. Take Care was the one that led the protest. Was Staywell in it at all?
No, because, so if there is a rollover, theoretically, the current 3 carriers that are there should roll over. I understand that one carrier has says, nope, we don't even want to roll over. We're terminating Guam. But we don't know the status of that because we're not giving any information as to whether or not the government of Guam may require that carrier to stay or not.
Yeah, and obviously your costs have changed in the last year, and I'm sure that if they're not paying NetCare, they're probably not paying you much either.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of people may think that we are first on the line, but actually we seem to be last on the line when it comes to payments, and we are owed quite a bit of money, which is something that our medical providers understand the fact that we actually continue paying them on a timely basis, despite the fact that the government of Guam, and not the entire government, but many of the agencies of the government of Guam owe significant amounts of money to Cabo Solar Care.
How's this going to end?
Well, the way it looks like it's going to be a rollover. And how long will that rollover be for? Those are currently under discussions because...
Can you assume all of Jerry Crisostomo's guys?
Well, I think we were there once as the single company offering health insurance benefits to the government of Guam. So I think we can. But as you said earlier,
what are the costs going to be, and what are the terms on the rollover, et cetera? It's gonna, like I said, interesting time. Frank, I got to run. I got Les Carlson on the other line.
Thank you, partner.
Okay, buddy. I'll see you pretty soon. Hey, Les, how you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's go pew, pew, pew one of these days. Just a couple of quick ones for you because I've only got 3 minutes before the top of the hour. We were at $68 million worth of Section 30, and you guys put in a request at the administration to take that up to 78, correct?
Yeah, we have data that we can use for future reconciliation to support $73 million so that we don't over-request, and there's a data gap. So we felt comfortable with requesting for $78 million, regardless of war claims. Even though when we were there Friday night, we did caution the body that we're in uncharted territory, and war claims are supposed to be starting to get paid soon.
Yes,
and we may not get the 78. We may, but we felt comfortable in asking for the 78. And if you remember last year, we made a very, very big, strong point on what the baseline of payments to Guam should be prior to them taking anything for war claims. So it was just a cautionary note, Ray.
Right. But now the additional $10 million, if the other side doesn't see your justification for the additional, they might still give us the 78, but we'd have to reconcile in 2020, 2021, right?
That's a normal process anyways. It's an advanced request, but we felt comfortable knowing that we have like 96% of the data necessary to ask for the full amount. So we were okay.
But now, does that include the slip in what the Section 30 taxes would be? I mean, the same way that the Trump tax cuts affected us here, would it not have also affected the people that are paying the same withholdings into Section 30?
True, but we're also looking at an increased number of participants to the program, so there's an offset there.
All right. Well, you don't sound very concerned. I mean, it's not as flimsy as it looks because it looked kind of shaky to me, buddy.
Listen, they needed to fund a shortfall. They were averse to taxes. They pulled this out, and put it on the floor. All I can tell you is that we're in uncharted territory. We don't know with war claims what amount we're going to get. So that was just it. It was just, we just need to be careful.
Gotcha. That should be the hallmark of the day. Use that one all day long. 7:59 Les. I appreciate your time. Have a good one.
Take care, Ray.
All right, Eagle. Radio station is KUSG Hagana. Headquarters for Fox News. That's coming up next. Where do we go after that? Well, we got Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post. Blake and I'll pretend to talk about sports and more ahead on The Point.
D.C. simmers down. I'm Rob Dawson, Fox News. The Unite the Right 2 rally is over in Washington. On the one-year anniversary of last year's rally in Charlottesville, dozens of people marched for what they call the civil rights of white people. Rally organizer Jason Kessler.
I'm not a white nationalist. I've never claimed to be a white nationalist, okay? But I'm okay with sharing this country with people from around the world. But if you bring in too many people at once, it's not the same country anymore.
Counter-protesters also showed up in force.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, the KKK has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Fox's Peter Ducey on the ground in Washington.
Nick Cannon is back.
The signs are mostly anti-white supremacy, anti-Nazi, and the numbers are enormous compared to the Unite the Right white civil rights march.
All of this happening on the one-year anniversary of the deadly violence in Charlottesville, Virginia at the first Unite the Right rally. Largely peaceful protests were held there today. Former White House aide Omarosa Manigault-Newman is about to release a memoir called Unhinged, which offers a scathing portrayal of President Trump and his administration.
I was complicit with this White House deceiving this nation. They continue to deceive this nation by how mentally declined he is, how difficult it is for him to process complex information, how he is not engaged in some of the most important decisions that impacts our country. I was complicit, and for that, I regret.
Omarosa speaking on NBC's Meet the Press. President Trump and the White House have fired back. The president called her a lowlife, and counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, on Fox News Sunday says the president believes it's a low blow to write a book riddled with lies. Adam Scott and Brooks Koepka tied for the lead at the PGA Championship in the final round. Tiger Woods 2 strokes back. Fox News, fair and balanced.
It's not too late to celebrate the possibilities with the latest smartphone sale at GTA. We have amazing deals on the best Samsung smartphones, including the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus for only $299, the Galaxy S9 for only $199, and the Galaxy Note 8 for only $149. But these amazing deals won't last much longer, so come into a GTA store today. Conditions apply. GTA, your island, your network.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
A senior triathlete dies in Ohio.
75-year-old Jim Hicks, competing Saturday in the swimming portion of the Cleveland Triathlon, was found unconscious in Lake Erie and later died. The U.S. Coast Guard saying Hicks, an Oklahoma native, was found floating in the water and efforts were made to revive him on board a boat. He was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. Hicks winning the duathlon national championship for his age group last year and representing the U.S. at international events. Hicks worked as a dentist in the Navy and later for the U.S. Indian Health Service. An exact cause of death has not been determined. Paul Stevens, Fox News.
President Trump and his administration are touting the country's economic growth, but South Carolina Republican Senator Tim Scott says there's still more work to do to help everyone.
The reality of it is that there are pockets in this nation where the recovery has been uneven.
Scott on CBS's Face the Nation also says President Trump has taken appropriate steps in the right direction to equality. The 2018 Teen Choice Awards airs tonight at 8 on Fox.
Nick Cannon is back co-hosting the Teen Choice Awards alongside YouTube star Lily Pons.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks.
In the film category, with 10 nominations, Avengers: Infinity War is currently tied with Black Panther for the lead. They're both up for Choice Action Movie and Choice Sci-Fi Movie. Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and Greatest Showman each have 9 nominations. Cardi B, Drake, Taylor Swift, and Ed Sheeran lead the pop music nominations. Carrie Underwood and J Balvin, as well as Blake Shelton, are also nominated. While Nick Cannon says, as host, he's ready to attack everything in a comedic way. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
A street in Dix Hills, New York, is now named for a teacher killed after protecting students from the gunman at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Hart Place is now Scott J. Beagle Way. I'm Rob Dawson, Fox News Radio.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K premium coffee, any size, and after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FH FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The search resuming this morning for 15-year-old Father Duenas High School student Xavier Akima. He was hiking with friends Saturday afternoon when he was caught in a downpour and swept away while crossing the Lonfit River near San Carlos Falls. The other hikers with him returned safely. Akima could not be found. Search and rescue teams from the Guam Fire Department and the Guam Police launched a massive search late Saturday afternoon, which continued throughout the day yesterday and is resuming this morning. The Navy's Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 25 also called out to conduct some aerial sweeps. They've been combing an area around the San Carlos Falls along the trails near it and along the Lonfit River towards Chalampago. Members of the Guam National Guard have also joined the search along with community volunteers. Family members and friends have set up tents near the Search and Rescue Command Post. They're praying and hoping for the best. The search is continuing today. Guam lawmakers worked through Saturday night, finally hammering out a compromise that earned enough votes to win passage of a spending plan for the 2019 fiscal year. The budget bill includes $78 million in tax increases, $60 million from the continuation of the 5% business privilege tax that was supposed to expire October 1st, another $11 million from the increase in the tobacco tax, and just over $8 million from a property tax increase. Bill 232 and 323, that is, passed by a vote of 8-7. The vote came about 8 o'clock Saturday night following the Friday afternoon rejection of the original version of the spending package. One of the stumbling blocks was the original budget's reliance on SAR funding, delinquent taxes not yet collected. That was eliminated in the revised budget. Another barrier was the defunding of the deputy director positions, all of whom would have been out of a job on October 1st, but funds were appropriated to cover their salaries through January 3rd. The governor issuing a statement in reaction to passage of the bill, he said he didn't anticipate the budget debate would be as tumultuous as it was. He thought there would be some reductions in spending and some revenue enhancements that would cover the anticipated $145 million revenue gap brought on by the Trump tax cuts. Governor said he was thankful that some senators realized that the SAR funding, as originally proposed, was not real revenue. He also said his team would now review the budget bill carefully. He did not say, however, whether he would sign it. We'll have more news after this.
Join Kathy and her team at Furniture Kathy Style for their grand opening this week. Their store is packed with fabulous furniture from brand names like Ashley, Klausner, Violino Leathers, and more, with prices that would blow your mind. Huge discounts throughout the store, such as their 4-piece bedroom set from Holland House, starting at $5.99. If you're looking for quality, style, and affordable furniture, come into Furniture Kathy Style in Hagutnya, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
11 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. Following their approval of the 2019 budget bill on Saturday, lawmakers went on to vote for 2 additional spending measures that appropriate the remaining tax amnesty funds expected to be collected by the September 5th deadline. Speaker Benjamin Cruz's Bill 329 appropriates $6.8 million to GMH specifically for the purpose of correcting the deficiencies identified in the April recertification survey of the hospital by the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services. That measure passed by a vote of 15-0. Bill 330, introduced by Frank Uggan Jr., also won unanimous approval. It provides $1.5 million from the general fund to jumpstart plans to renovate Simon Sanchez High School. The money will cover part of the cost to hire an owner's agent engineer to begin the architectural and engineering planning for the project. Classes at Guam's public schools get underway tomorrow morning. Dozens of parents, teachers, and administrative staff and community volunteers helping with the final preparations over the weekend. This year, all 41 of Guam's public schools will be covered by a federal program that provides no-cost meals. The funding comes from a U.S. Department of Agriculture grant. There are no changes in the bell schedule. Elementary schools start at 8:30 in the morning. Classes run until 2:45 in the afternoon. Middle schools from 8:30 until 3:30 in the afternoon. John F. Kennedy, Southern, and Teetson High Schools get underway at 6:45 a.m. and last until 1:45 p.m. J.P. Torres Success Academy starts at 6:45 a.m. as well, and classes there run until 1:45 in the afternoon. Finally, George Washington High, Simon Sanchez, and Ukadu High Schools all start their classes at 7:15, and classes run until 2:15 in the afternoon. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray with some weather.
It says it's going to be ugly hot today. Partly cloudy and hot isolated showers. Northeast winds up to about 15 miles an hour. Expected highs near 90 degrees. And because we're not getting a whole lot of wind to blow any of this muggy away, we got a heat index. Make it feel like 101 degrees today. Overnight lows, 78 degrees. Never wish for sunset any more than you're going to today. And that should be about 6:43 tonight. Nice sunset last night. I saw a couple of pictures on Facebook. Way to post those. And sunrise tomorrow morning should be around 6:07. And that's what it's looking like right now. I don't have the radar up or the satellite imagery,
Right.
but Michael can still take you around the neighborhood and let you know what things are going to look like.
Yeah, the main thing we need to worry about is over the next several days, we've got a weak disturbance that's going to be passing through, raising moisture levels and giving us some much better chances for rain. We're not expecting anything to develop, though, and not expecting, any flooding or anything like that. But with these systems, you never know. They just kind of pop up like that. So we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, yeah, just a hot day today. Winds are blowing just hard enough to keep us from getting any significant clouds to build up over the island like they did yesterday.
Right.
So, yeah, we're going to get a lot of sun and a lot of heat.
8:14, that's news and weather together right here on The Point.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together Bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
Yay for Kings. Open all over the place now and waiting for you to come by for lunch today. Let me give you you need nutrition today more than any other day. I'm looking at traffic. Traffic today is as bad as I have seen it since the beginning of summer. I think everybody's in the same page. I got to get to work. I got to start work early today because I got to split early so I can go and do some back to school shopping or whatever right now as quick as so you're not going to have a whole lot of time for lunch. So think about Kings. They've taking all the guesswork out. They even know what you need to order. Today is Monday, so Salisbury steak today, beef steak tomorrow. Pick 2 or pick 3 combos are working for you. So just decide now. It's going to be lunchtime at King's.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Real estate transactions aren't easy. I'll just tell you that right now. I've been through it a few times, and there's always a couple of places where I go, oh, it's a good thing there's adult supervision over at Security Title. I got a question, they've got the answers for you. So if you're just starting out, or if maybe you're in the middle of one of these, oh my God, condo deals, right? They're the people that you need to talk to at Security Title.
Nothing's more expensive than ignorance. Do you know what blockchain technology is or how it affects your financial life? You should. If it's a question in your mind, then you need to attend our free event at the Onward Beach Resort on Saturday, August 18th. If you own a business, you have to know how blockchain will change your business. Call now, 671-678-5989, or go to guam.digitalgoldacademy.com. Seating is limited. Call now, 671-678-5989.
What? American President lines? Oh, didn't I talk about them already? They just got finished. I think they just got finished with their big softball tournament, right? The APL. Yeah, I mean, these guys, they're talking about reaching out to the community in 100 different ways, and the idea is we work and play well together around here. You got stuff that needs to get from here to there or there to here. APL, they're doing it. They're shipping the future.
Howdy, folks. Just when you thought our famous KFC crispy strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC crispy strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Southbound Upper Tumon, just looking at it right now. Usually things begin to clear up when you get to St. John's, and in this case it does, but not for very long. By the time you get around DPW and the Kmart intersection, things are going to start kicking up as well. Traffic that is moving from EPOW towards Marine Corps Drive on EPOW Road, right before you get to the gas station, is beginning to busy up as well. A lot of people ganged up at that intersection waiting to go. And dude, it's not even back to school yet. There's not even buses out there yet. There's just traffic. I think, like I said, I think people are trying to get as much as they can get done today and this morning because not going to be much time. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to brave the back-to-school lines at all the department stores and shopping centers. And imagine how much fun that's going to be tomorrow. Why did Carl Pangolin send me a picture of who's that guy? Tiger Woods? It's Tiger Woods. Yeah. I have a picture of Tiger Woods on my phone. Thank you, Carl, for sending me this.
Because it's the PGA Championship right now.
Is it time for Tiger worship?
I don't know. I have not looked at the PGA Championship leaderboard, but I know that that's going on, and it's Sunday. You know, that's his Sunday outfit. He always wears the red shirt, the black hat on Sundays.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, people pay attention to that?
Yeah, his whole career. His whole career, he's done that since like 1996 or 97 when he busted. If he's in contention to win the weekend, every Sunday he plays, he always plays in the red shirt and the black hat. That's the Tiger trademark there.
So is it like a Tiger Woods superstition?
Oh, he's third. That's why. He's third on the leaderboard right now as it stands. Round 4 in progress in St. Louis for the PGA Championship. Brooks Koepka from the U.S. He is 15 under in first place on the leaderboard. Adam Scott from Australia, 14 under, and Tiger Woods right there in third place, which is surprising.
How far
13 under. He's 2 strokes out of the lead, but he's 13 under. He's 13 under on the board. Yeah, and this is a big deal because Tiger has. And it looks like Brooks Koepka just got back into the lead.
Like Carl Gutierrez. You don't write Tiger Woods off.
No. He birdied at, Brooks Koepka birdied at 15 to put himself in the lead. So now he has to survive number 16. Then comes a par 5. So it's very much his to lose with Tiger Woods and Adam Scott on his heels, I believe. I don't think that they're done yet. Especially if Carl's singing that
because
picture.
if you ask me, birdies
means-
are like miracles.
That means Tiger's out there playing.
A birdie's
still.
like a hole-in-one as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I've ever hit one in my life.
Ever.
Ever.
Never.
Yeah.
Not even like miniature golf. You never got like a hole-in-one in miniature golf.
No.
That's kind of a birdie, I think.
Yeah.
I hit an eagle once.
Did you really?
Absolutely.
And
It was a par 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you putted it in? I guess.
No,
You chipped it in?
I drove it about 250. Had a nice tailwind and got good hit on the ball, man, straight and true. And it wasn't really a hard par 4. And gosh, I was maybe 110, 120 yards out, and yeah, I took what did I hit then? I think I took an 8-wood. I mean, an 8-iron, and dropped it in. It just went in. It was weird. It's a weird feeling.
According to Nick,
Yeah, right. They're like a hole-in-one. You just realize, oh my God, I eagled.
I mean, I stopped playing then and just started drinking.
I'm finished now. It's not ever going to get any better than this.
According to Nick Pruetsky over at ESPN.com, he just tweeted this 14 minutes ago. Tiger Woods, driver, par 5. This whole thing might come down to one swing. So it seems like it's getting interesting over there on the PGA Championship. I wish I
That's
was
the one
watching
thing
it.
I've heard about Tiger since he's been back is that he has really upped his wood game, especially driver.
Yeah.
You know, because he was always, it was you never knew with Tiger. Yeah, sometimes he'd hit a great one, 350 yards, and the other time he'd,
Shank it to the
shake
left
it
and
off
throw
or
his
hook
club
it.
behind
Yeah.
his back because he was so upset with himself.
But I hear that's one of his most
So I'm just going to make a note to myself when it gets quiet. Today I'm watching Tin Cup on Hulu.
There you go.
I love that movie.
But that's the long form. It's a great one. That's the long form answer as to why Carl is sending you pictures of Tiger at this moment, because it seems like he's basically heading to the down stretch with or the home stretch in good position.
Anything can happen, but they got to hit the same holes. I mean,
That's true.
everybody's got to hit the same holes. So you're waiting for the other guy to whiff it. But in the meantime, that means that you've still got to perform. You've got to still nail par or better on each of the
Even
holes.
if he's cooking, you still got to keep on his heels. You were mentioning APL a second ago with just one swing of the bat. Brielle Minnow changed Southern softball fate. They were crowned queens of softball with an 11-9 end of the game grand slam win over the Nationals for the first ever APL women's softball title at the Guerrero Field yesterday evening. She unloaded a grand slam in the 5th inning to turn a 9-7 deficit into an 11-9 lead. Her second home run of the night. The Nationals came out hot with the bat swinging. They were leading 8-2 in the early innings, but Brielle Minnow, she said, "Not on my watch," and she hit a grand slam, and that put her team square in the final contention, APL women's softball title.
Got it.
Sorry, I'm running off my phone, so it's a little.
You know what we might want to do now is a little portion of the program we like to call Sports with Blake.
Oh yeah.
Hey, don't ask me what happened. It's Monday. That's what happened.
I didn't even know. I thought we did it. I didn't even notice.
He was probably everybody's
No,
wondering
just
why they're
like-
looking at me, and I'm leaning over here. 'Cause
It was the
my
Tiger
finger's
question.
on the button.
Well, yeah, because look, it was just it was a thing. This program is all non sequitur.
That's it, yeah.
The entire thing, it's just a stream of consciousness, and you step into and out of things, kind of at will. And I don't know. Somebody asked me, I said, what's your plan for Monday morning? I was just coming out of the one-on-one with the candidates, and they said, "What is your plan on Monday morning?" I said, "To kill 4 hours of talk radio." I just need to keep just keep the meters moving while the clock is running. That's all I've really got to do, and they tell me I'm all right at it. So so if we miss a theme here or there, just trust me, we'll catch up. We got headlines coming up with Kevin Kerrigan in a little bit, and some great, as you point out, with the APL, the softball thing,
First ever.
and
Big deal. It's a
Trust
big
me, I know the people. Don't be more like that. They were also among the sponsors that brought out Bubba Nickel.
Yes, Bubba Nichols as well. Yeah, for her softball clinic and All-Star game that she played in. That was a really, really big deal and awesome for all the softball players. I wonder if some of the Bubba Nichols magic rubbed off on Brielle Minnow.
I'll bet. You know what? You should talk to them. You should talk to the APL people.
Yeah.
So I'll introduce you to the guys. So because they do this, they're looking for different things, that they can get behind. Now, what's that sport that you play? That gay sport?
Lacrosse.
From
lacrosse.
I take exception to that as well.
I get it. It's a third-tier sport at best, that's played amongst private school elite only in one region.
Hey, it's a pro sport in Canada.
It's a pro sport in the States, too. People forget that. But, yeah. I know exactly what he was talking about. I'm used to
see
it.
if you guys are awake. Every once in a while, I got to toss something out there like that. No!
I'm with you. I'm right here with you. Yeah, right here with you. I get you. Yeah, it's stuff like that. I know that we, there's I lost my whole complete train of thought. There's baseball leagues going on as well. So yeah, I wonder.
I'm just looking for a way to, maybe APL can help you guys out.
Yeah,
with something like, because you have virtually the only equipment that you have in your sport is your equipment. Right. So I mean, if you don't have it, I mean, literally, if Blake Watson doesn't have the equipment for this sport, there's no games that can be played. So,
not by me. No.
Well, not by anybody.
Right.
You're the one with all the equipment, right?
No, everybody has their own. So it's kind of like.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's it. It's not like there's. It's not like if you needed to, you could go to say the sports place up the street.
Yeah, no, and
You can't go to
it's also and it's also not as easy either as like, oh, hey, you got a bat and a ball, then we could play a game. It's not even that easy because you need all the protective gear, and it's not really a game you can just kind of pick up within 10 minutes.
Okay,
you may need to spend you may need to spend like an hour. Because it is, if you can catch, if you can play a game of catch, that's, then that's the basis of it. And then you got to do it with a stick in your hand. So it's just a little getting used to, the release point and,
so the
and
origin
depth
of this
perception.
is the American Indians, and they'd use actually the heads of their enemies, the severed heads of their enemies, isn't it?
No. I think there's mass confusion on that. But yeah, it is a Native American game.
That was bowling, right?
Where they take the actual heads of their vanquished enemies.
Yeah, and then stick their legs and arms in the ground and bowl.
I think they use the eyes as the ball.
Yes, place for the fingers.
No, but if you watch Last of the Mohicans, that movie opens up with a game of lacrosse. And you know what's crazy about it? It was actually like almost like warfare because they used to spend like acres and like sometimes days. Like a game would last a couple days, and they would just like run through acres of land carrying a ball and trying not to lose it.
Not a great story.
They call it America's true pastime, Ray.
No, people are okay. I'm sure you've seen this because we share the same BS services. People are okay with using phones on the toilet. 10 years ago, only about 1 in 3 said it was okay to use a phone while simultaneously being on the toilet. Today, that number is quite a bit higher. About 81% say that it's okay.
But I wonder if because I've seen people with actual landlines right next to their toilet. So
my dad had one.
Yeah. Right.
But he thought it was the greatest thing in the world. It's like being in a hotel. You just, I gotta go. He'd pick up the thing and
that may be a little weird. Like actually conversing, interacting with someone, like via like your voice on the phone. That may be a little weird. But I think now with devices,
the only weird moment is
most people just reading, right?
Like flushing. I mean, if you were in the middle, if you were in the middle of a business conversation with somebody, right, and we're talking about interest rates or when the lease starts on something, or we're gonna go into business together, and all of a sudden you're talking to the guy, and then you hear on the opposite end the toilet flush.
Right. Well, that's what always fascinated me. One of the parts that fascinated me about his quirky character with President LBJ, he had an open door policy, literally.
That included the bathroom.
And he was I think he was the reason.
He called guys in. I need to take the conversation into the loo.
And I think he was the president that installed the first phone in the John in the White House. I don't think there was one there. And so he had the open door policy, and he also had the phone. But that always, because he seems like a very, I don't know, like a John Wayne type. And the fact that he had that open door policy and he'd just pick up the phone while he was on the John and call somebody was always strange about him to me.
Because we used to have like an open bay place in the last place that we all worked, and for me it was like we're not having a conversation in here. This is not a meeting.
Right.
I just need to take care of a couple. And now I'm leaving. I don't want to talk to you. I don't even want to know that you're in here with me in this same place. And so the same follows in the bathroom. So if I'm in the bathroom, and I bring the phone in with me. I mean, it's a great time to get caught up on social media or whatever, reading stories. But if it rings, I don't pick it up when I'm in there.
No,
because it just feels, oh my God, awkward.
I don't even pick it up when I'm washing my hands if I can. I like to get completely out of the restroom before I even touch the phone.
Away from the place.
Well, because when you're in a restroom, it has that hollow, echoey sound.
Right.
Every restroom has that. So as soon as you're talking to somebody, they know.
Especially if you're washing your hands, not even flushing, just washing your hands is it's a very distinctive sound, and people are like, "Wait a second, are you in the restroom right now?"
I got to do another poll question for the point.gu. That might be one of them. Are you okay with this? But I don't really care about the answer. So what I'm going to do is, are you okay with this? And then I'm going to write down.
Okay with what? Talking on the phone in the restroom?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the
I'm
question.
not even going to ask you. Not even going there. Hey, listen, it's 8:30 in the morning. Got bigger names to talk to and some bigger issues to play around with in the next couple of minutes. So that's going to be it for sports today. We'll keep an eye on what Tiger Woods is able to do. See if he is able to rise to the challenge.
It will be a big deal if he wins. And also, GML playoffs, they start tomorrow night, so we can look forward to that as well tomorrow.
Roger,
more
Roger.
More information on that locally.
And everybody on the Facebook Live, did he just call lacrosse? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know what you think you heard.
Yeah, y'all heard that right.
I said the hooray sport. It's 8:30 in the morning. It's Ray's sport. That's what I was trying to say. That's what it is. We got headlines with Kevin Kerrigan, brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style, coming up next.
A strong economy depends on a strong middle class. Businesses need help to survive in these tough times, and new industries are needed. As your governor, I will propose tax cuts for small businesses. We will streamline government operations to create a more business-friendly environment. We will invest in infrastructure and in our people by expanding opportunities to learn much-needed trades. I'm in to help get us there, and I humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Still a line of traffic in front of Navy Hospital and into Hagutnya from the Sinahanya and then right up to Chief Kipua, that loop there on Route 4. You might see some traffic slowing down around the bank around Aganya Shopping Center. Doesn't look like it's permanent. Doesn't look like it's sticky. Still southbound Marine Corps Drive right in front of us here at DPW and the Kmart intersection. Traffic is beginning to slow down there. Not saying it's stalled. Not saying we got backups up to Route 3, but it's just slowing down. We're seeing the same kind of slowdown coming out of Teedson trying to get on 10A, and when you're on 10A trying to turn left to Marine Corps Drive or right to Marine Corps Drive, could see some traffic through there as well. My God, you'd think it was 3:30. 8:32 in the morning, and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post, and brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. A military contractor that was recently fined for accidentally spilling 100 gallons of jet fuel and 10 gallons of fuel-contaminated water waited nearly 3 months before reporting the incident to the Guam Environmental Protection Agency. Guam EPA Acting Deputy Administrator Nick Rupley-Lee confirming that the spill occurred in August last year wasn't reported until November. The contractor, a joint venture between the Nova Group and the Underground Construction Company. They were fined $99,500. The areas affected by the jet fuel spill were Aganya Heights and Harmon. The spill occurred during an upgrade to a pipeline from Sassa Valley to Anderson Air Force Base. The overall upgrade project costs $63 million. The EPA says that the contaminated areas have since been cleaned up. The Civil Service Commission has instructed the Port Authority of Guam to restart the hiring process for an assistant operations manager after learning that an applicant was rated incorrectly and finding out that the person hired, Christopher Regis, did not state the truth about his former employer. The CSC initiated a post-audit investigation at the request of Simon Pinola, a Port Authority employee and in-house applicant for the job. Pinola raised the concerns about whether Regis met the job qualifications. Regis had indicated that his prior employer was Matson Navigation, but CSC staff found that he was actually employed with DSG, which is a Matson subcontractor. Attorney Jonathan Kwan has received legislative support to be the Superior Court of Guam's next magistrate judge. Guam senators Saturday night voting unanimously to approve his appointment. Other nominees getting unanimous approval were Stephen Carrera to serve as a member of the Guam Environmental Protection Agency Board of Directors. Ann Roth also approved for the Guam EPA Board. Father Michael Chrysostomo was approved to serve as a member of the Criminal Injuries Compensation Commission, Luis Baza to serve as a member of the Civil Service Commission, and Elizabeth Fisher to serve as a member of the Alcohol, Beverage, and Control Board. For these stories and more, Log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thanks, Kevin. 8:34, and that newscast brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style.
You've been waiting, and now it's here. Furniture Kathy Style's grand opening after 12 months of putting together an exciting, delicious, salivating, full-scale, real furniture store that has absolutely everything you need for a beautiful home. Beautiful textures, up-to-date styles, and prices that will blow your mind during our grand opening. Starting now, Furniture Kathy Style throughout the store. Bargains, bargains, bargains. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Furniture Kathy Style in Hagutnya. Open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
It's 8:35, and that's iConnect time. iConnect is the practical choice. That's what I want you to keep in your head. There's a lot of different ways that we communicate these days. We have the Messenger and WhatsApps and all of these things that go on the mobile phone and via the internet. Even push-to-talk phones have got those smart capabilities. So check them all out. Don't pay too much. How do you guarantee you're not paying too much? You go to iConnect.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Wrap it up. I'll take it. And that refers to the way they're doing wraps these days over at Subway. Some great crave-worthy sandwiches, filling and delicious. They're signature wraps loaded with meat, and packed with flavors. Get yours today at Subway. Make it what you want.
Offering state-of-the-art MRI, full-field digital mammograms, full digital x-rays, and 4D ultrasounds. FHP Health Center provides comprehensive diagnostic medical imaging with the convenience and access our patients deserve. Our highly specialized board-certified radiologist ensures high-quality, patient-focused care with every visit. Call the FHP Health Center at 646-5825 and press 2 to schedule your appointment today. Most insurance is accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
Portions of the program brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Eco Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Hey, so here's the thing. Everybody looking for the perfect lunch. You know what the perfect... Let me define the perfect lunch for you. Half a cup of fruit, half a cup of dairy, and a complete day's worth of vegetables, and over half of your protein needs for the entire day. Where do you find something like that? All the different flavors, all the different things in it. We get the dairy and the fruit, and we get the protein in there. It's in a salad, guys. And in this case, it's the seasonal berry burst chicken salad that they have over at Wendy's. You're going to love this. In fact, I got one on, was it Friday or Saturday? I can't remember which night it was, because I got two salads. Over the weekend. I had the usual, which is their the Caesar, the spicy chicken Caesar one, which I love because it's got spicy chicken in it. And then I got the berry blast, the berry burst, because I can make it with the spicy chicken, right? Add a lot of different flavors. So you got the berries going in there. You got the feta cheese. This is just really, really good. You got to try it. It's only going to be around for a limited time only at Wendy's. Now that's better.
Kohler Power Systems are available for rent from Morico Equipment in Tamuning. 50 to 500 kilowatt Kohler diesel generators on trailers or on the ground. Call Roland at Morico now, 649-1946, or click MoricoEquipment.com. Kohler Power Systems are made for Guam conditions. Aluminum, weatherproof, and soundproof enclosures for Guam's tropical climate. Kohler generators can run all day with the correct size fuel tank. Call Morico now, 649-1946, or click MoricoEquipment.com.
Is it traffic time? This is going to be my last chance to take a look at the traffic unless something stinky comes up. I will tell you the traffic coming out of the Jollibee. I'm going to start. Can I start calling it the Jollibee intersection? No, the Chicken Joy intersection, because that's the big sign that they've got up there. Coming out of the Chicken Joy intersection, headed north towards the intersection of 1 and 3. You know, they've had that construction going around there for, like the last 2 months or something like that. I don't know when that's going to end, but it snags traffic up in the late morning as well. The rest of the traffic seems to be moving a little bit smoother southbound Marine Corps Drive and Upper Tumon. I think the only snag is going to be getting around the Kmart intersection, because everybody is going to Kmart for filler paper and binders and backpacks backpacks and all of that stuff. Because tomorrow OMB is back to school for just about everybody. Was it 30,000 public school students go back to school tomorrow? Crazy, isn't it? And all of the moms decided to shop today. It's where you get the best prices, right? Last minute. If you can deal with the shopper rage and the parking lot rage, I think you'll be all right. 20 away from 9. Talena Nelson next.
Howdy, folks. Just when you thought our famous KFC crispy strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC crispy strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
In 20 minutes, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 o'clock in the morning, and got some nurses coming in. I know what you're thinking. Stop it right now. With me in the studio, and maybe a little bit more relaxed this morning than she would have been had we done a live interview on Friday morning, is Senator Talena Nelson. Ignore the part on the Facebook live screen that says Kevin Kerrigan. It's not Kevin, I can tell, just by looking. Welcome to the studio.
Good morning, Reed.
It's good to have you. Why are you nervous? It's only me. It's like I've known you all of your life. Don't worry about it.
Yes, Uncle Reed, but this is a business, no?
Yeah, well, you know, it is, and I'm going to have to change the prices around here because I guess the legislature, I've seen some of the commentary that's come out of the governor's office so far, and we'll maybe talk a little bit about how that played into the setup on the 2019 budget, and so we'll start with all of that. Everybody on Friday got called back in and voted no on the budget. And BJ said, okay, we're coming back. And on Saturday, you went in and finally found, I think, some common ground between you and at least 7 other senators to provide for an 8-7 vote on the 2019 budget bill?
Yes.
Okay, so you voted yes on that?
Yes, I did.
How did you vote the first time around?
I voted yes for the budget.
So you sustained the support for the budget the first time and the second time?
Yes.
Okay, why? Why is that?
Well,
because you know it's got the tax hike in there.
Yes.
And I hate the tax hike.
Well, I didn't vote for the budget bill because of the tax hike. I voted for Speaker Cruz's bill because the first time GMH is fully funded. We needed to ensure that the school year went uninterrupted with the teachers, that our children received continuing education throughout the year without having to worrying about furloughs.
Always important to Gloria.
Yes, yes, and I voted for the budget because we needed to keep the recruits that are at GFD to continue their work so that they can continue the hiring process for the next fiscal year. There are 45 recruits. I voted for the budget to ensure that our basic government services were kept in operation, and there were also cuts made. I want to say the budget was cut about $58 million.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that it was a responsible budget, and so that's why I voted for it.
Appreciate it. Were you going to own it or don't own it? And I appreciate that you own. I might disagree on some of those points. I think this was a ripe time to see reorganization in the government. Not just cuts, but cuts that we can look at and make permanent. There's so many places, so many things in the government of Guam where I think that there's probably some need for more oversight, and certainly need for more collections. Mm-hmm. You talk about a $58 million cut, but you're also in those same budget hearings and conversations with the Department of Revenue and Taxation, where they will come in and I think happily say, yeah, there's still about $73 million that we might be able to get our hands on. And so in my mind, I go, well, go get that then, instead of taking it out of my pocket.
Yes, and some of the challenges that I see in the collections between DRT is really the leadership. And
did they have an oversight? They were supposed to have an oversight on the 9th. Did that happen?
No, we were in session.
Okay.
So we had a committee of the whole, and we basically got the hard facts up front. We were looking to push them to collect by the supplemental annual revenue, which they call SAR. Mm-hmm. And essentially what they told us is there's no way that they can account for this money because it all goes into the general fund. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is the government definitely needs to shrink in size, but it needs a change in leadership to do so. And it also needs to implement technological practices instead of us always going to manually input information, and also to include better ways of tracking the dollars, because that is the biggest challenge that DRT has.
So I hope, without sounding biased, and I've got a personal relationship with the Nelson family that goes back to back even before I was born. Our families have always been close, so I've tried to at least disclose that. And I want to say I'd like to see you in the 35th Guam legislature, because I think there needs to be continuity between the legislature now and the next legislature coming in. If you are reelected, if you're blessed by the public, if she has a really good fundraiser tonight, then you might find yourself in the 35th Guam legislature and have to re-grapple with all of these issues. 2019, I think, is going to be a repeat of 2018. So it's important that all of the things that we talk about today, all of these changes in leadership and technology that we need to see at the Department of Revenue and Taxation and elsewhere in the government of Guam, that there's somebody there that will say, yeah, we talked about this last year. This is the year we're making those changes. Because I don't think there's anything much more that can be done between now and then.
Well, it's something that we will continue to strive for. We have a lot of new candidates that have out-of-the-box ideas. There are a lot of them are technologically advanced, and we hopefully have a new gubernatorial Democratic governor coming in.
I'm crazy about out-of-the-box ideas, but we've got to think of solutions to the problems that are inside the box right now. Guam Memorial Hospital among them. You're talking about fully funding the Guam Memorial Hospital, but in my mind, there is no unbroken chain of custody. Right, you're familiar with the term unbroken chain of custody from the amount of money that gets collected off of this additional tax that goes to Guam Memorial Hospital directly. And we've seen all kinds of brilliant out-of-the-box ideas. That's why we got game rooms, 3 or 4 game rooms on every street in Barragata and Central Guam. And as far as I know, they're bringing money in, and not all of it is making its way to Guam Memorial Hospital. And you've seen those lockbox accounts it's like we've got this thing in the bathroom. Right, and it's got a lock on it to prevent people from stealing the big thing of toilet paper. And you know how you unlock it? With a paper clip. There's no key. Everybody has the key to this, but there is a little tiny lock on it. And apparently that's the way it works between the Department of Administration and all these lockbox accounts. So we've got to fix that problem. Any ideas?
Well, I agree with you. You mentioned Guam Memorial Hospital, but there is no doubt that they still have to be funded. But during my time as a senator...
Is there doubt that they're using the money appropriately, effectively?
And that is why there's a needed change in leadership. Because during my time as a senator, we've had oversight hearings, we had public hearings asking the CFO and the director of Guam Memorial Hospital, why are you not making implementations to correct some of these challenges that you're having? And in many cases, they don't want to move. Of course, the director is an appointed position. And so that this is part of the governor's appointment, and they listen to the direction of the governor.
Save it for the question about Eric. I'm watching. Ryan's in the studio laughing. We're all watching, because it seems to me that every time they show up at the legislature, and somebody, a BJ or you or Regine, will say, okay, well, what are your priorities at Guam Memorial Hospital? And they'll list all kinds of priorities. And then you open up the newspaper, and then you hear about a $6 million pretend problem that they've got with this with their electrical panel. And they go, okay, well, that's just that. It's politics or whatever. And then, but when it really comes down to the question of what are you going to be putting out RFPs and IFBs for at Guam Memorial Hospital? I don't know if you've caught this, but last week they came out with a request for proposal for a transportation, for like a van/ambulance. And I'm going, I've never heard that being a priority item, but if they've got money to spend, why are they spending it there as opposed to some of the other equipment that they say that they need? So there's this whole line of incongruity where it comes to what they say is important and then what they come out in the media and say what we want to buy. Follow?
Yes, I'm following.
Do you have any questions for me? All right. Well, she started talking about leadership changes and things like that. So I did want to spend a couple of minutes or the rest of the hour talking about Eric Palacios.
Sure.
The governor's office says that you did the people in the Organic Act a great disservice because there was no actual vote in committee before you said that his confirmation period had expired. Number one, has it expired in your mind?
According to our legislative counsel, who's Julian Uggan, and we go by the advice of our legislative counsel, And absolutely, his appointment time has expired.
Is there past practice that you can look at and say, because Eric can't be the first one in the history of the government of Guam that has had a proposal for confirmation, and then the time had elapsed.
Well, we have never changed. The legislature, from what I know, has never changed the way they've done the business and the 90-day appointment rule.
Right.
We have been consistent, and we've consistently implemented that rule for till today. No question about it. And the legislative
whose
council
interpretation was it that we don't include the weekends? Is that purely Adelup's?
Well, that's not our legislative council's interpretation.
Right. Is that statute, or is that is that something in the practice, the rules of the legislature?
It's in our rules also.
Okay, so I mean, you can determine at will.
And it's also statute, yes.
And it's also a statute that is 30 days, but there's nothing that says anything about weekends.
Right.
So the interpretation has always been that it's 90 calendar days, not 90 working days.
Yes.
Okay, and so that's why you believe that the confirmation has expired, and you've asked Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio to give you another name.
That's correct.
And they have not, and now it's in the hands of the Attorney General.
Yes, so, of course, I respect that our two branches of government have a different interpretation of the law, and I'm not a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we look to the Attorney General to opine on the matter, and whatever her opinion may be, we will consider it and discern it.
In the meantime, I thought it might be interesting just for the exercise to go ahead and have the committee vote. I mean, is there an upside? Is there a downside to it? I mean, you can come and say, look, we agree to disagree, and for the purposes of moving forward and to satisfy, if for no other reason, our curiosity, or to satisfy the requirements of the statute, we'll go ahead and have that vote in the committee and see what the committee has to say. Maybe why couldn't you do that?
Well, the people of Guam elected me as their public servant, and during the vetting process, there are some Customs and Quarantine officers, the rank and file, that opposed his appointment.
Did they oppose it publicly?
No, they did not.
Okay, so there, I've got a problem with that. It's that same thing with Jim Espaldon a couple of weeks ago with the hotel occupancy tax, where we've got people, the experts at GHRA, the experts at GVB, the experts in the actual industry, coming and saying that this is a bad idea. But privately, a couple of guys snuck up to Jim and said, "Hey, this is not really a big problem. Go ahead, we can absorb it. They're just making noise." And for some reason, Jimmy held that as testimony greater than what the experts had supplied to them in the public hearing. So that's kind of. In my mind, I don't know that I would have done that. I get that there's people that don't like Eric Palacios and that they might have found a way to get to you, but in the meantime,
no,
I don't think that should have.
I
don't think that should have been included in the vetting process.
No, I cannot speak in this. When you mentioned Senator Espaldon, I cannot speak on that matter.
Yeah.
But I can speak that essentially there is a climate of fear in some paramilitary organizations. And
if there's a climate of fear at GMH, there's a climate of fear, in various places in the government.
But that I'm talking about Customs and Quarantine, right? And so when the rank and file come to me for help, it is my duty to ensure that I protect their interests. Also, the community has come to me and opposed his appointment, and I listened to what the people had to say. And if there's that climate of fear, case in point, when the lieutenant governor in the gun grabbing incident, I wrote a letter to the chief of police asking him not to transfer any of the police officers until the investigation is complete.
Right.
Because I know that there was a plan for that, because one news agency verified that there was an intent to move these officers around in an effort to perhaps silence them. When you move an officer out of a precinct that he's been in for 10 plus years,
you
show your power and authority over them.
Yeah, I'd ask the guys if I run into somebody down in Agust, I said, "Who you piss off? What are you doing down here? This isn't your regular beat." And they just kind of roll their eyes and say, "Well, it is what it is."
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, that's the way that it can occur in these so-called paramilitary organizations. But isn't it possible, though, Telena, that those same people might have also gotten to other members of the committee and said, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry, I'm afraid to say this. I mentioned it to Telena, but I'm afraid to say this out publicly. So is it possible that they got to the other guys and did some other kind of lobbying?"
That I don't know, and I don't want to
So I mean, for the benefit of the doubt, I would have had the vote. Yeah, and that's just me.
Well, the people of
didn't.
Guam elected me to be their public servant, and if they don't like my decision, then they can do it in the polls.
No, I get it, and that's a strong statement to make. It's almost a challenge. This is the way I want to run my committee.
No, it's not a challenge. It was the decision that I made for the best interest to protect the customs and quarantine, rank and file, and to hear the community, and I stand by that decision.
Is there any way that the conversation can come out of committee and into the body as a whole? I mean, there were some confirmation votes that occurred the other night. Did anybody talk about maybe just putting Eric's up there just for grins?
Well, until the Attorney General opines on the matter, according to our Legislative Council, his appointment has expired.
How old are we going to be when that happens? I mean, I'm serious. I mean, I hate to be critical. I love Liz Barrett Anderson, but things just don't seem to be happening in any kind of snappy fashion on some of what I think should be fairly easy issues to deal with. Is it or is it not the end of the confirmation period? Has his confirmation period expired? This is not a tough question. Let's take a look at the statute. We'll take a look at the past practices of the legislature, and her answer might be, you know what, that's up to Talena. But I don't understand why it's taking so long. You've also sent a request for an update, and I'd asked Ray Tenorio when I was talking to him the other day unfortunately, at the one-on-one with the candidates at the mall that you missed, I'd also asked if it was possible that Ray Tenorio could get his name on this letter. The next time you send out a request, give Ray the opportunity to sign on it. You want to know what the deal is. I want to know what the deal is, and so Ray should want to know what the deal is. Don't you think?
I'm sure it's in the best interest of everyone to understand what the ramifications are when you disarm a police officer.
Yeah.
Regardless of who you are in the community.
And it's not necessarily a question of politics or politicking the issue. I think it's a legitimate question. It has been since the 7th of July that this occurred. It is now the 13th of August. Better than a month has elapsed. I don't see a whole lot by way of questions around the standing facts of the case. Mm-hmm. It was Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio. There was a gun, and it came out of the holster. And Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio does not currently have the credentials, permits to be able to carry a weapon or to handle a loaded weapon, right? So I'm trying to figure out what's the part of why are we having such a hard time getting to determine whether a crime of a misdemeanor or a felony level has been committed.
Your question is as good as mine.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, but you're right. You wrote it so much more succinctly. So as I said, there's this cloud that is hanging over the primary election, and perhaps we'll see what happens into the general election, and it benefits all of the parties concerned, the police officers, the people that were at the Glock party, Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio himself, and you as the member of that committee.
Yes.
Yeah. So I understand that there was a response from the Attorney General?
They could not comment on the matter.
Which is what they said they weren't going to do in the first place.
Correct.
All right. And there's more than one or two people who are opining this morning that is a sure sign of it getting swept under the rug. I don't want to use the words cover up. Other people can, but certainly it seems to me this is one of those, like I said, it's just an easy question. Why does it take 35, 40 days to get some kind of an answer and not even provide a sense of when the answer might be coming out? Interesting stuff. You were looking for money, and if I had my fingers crossed that the opportunity for these funds would be intact into this new budget for 2019. You were looking at getting $500,000 to send over to the court to give them access to some kind of surveillance technology for people that are awaiting trial.
Yes. The
Did it survive?
Department of Corrections is overcrowded, and one of the reasons why that is because there's a lot of detainees that are filling the DOC. So the courts have an electronic monitoring program authorization. It would save, according to the courts, DOC $2 million if they can implement this electronic monitoring program. And it'll also alleviate the amounts of detainees within our prison and hopefully help our guards out.
Well, and hopefully prevent people if they're wearing some kind of an anklet that says that we know where you are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and this is not going to look good for you if you go outside of the prescribed area. Yeah. Then it seems to me that might prevent some of these guys from going out and committing another crime while they're supposed to be waiting for trial. I always refer to that. That's come to Jesus time. This is make it right with God time, and you don't screw it up by going and breaking into people's cars and seeing if you can spend something for some dough. Only enough time to ask you, what time does the fundraiser start tonight over at the venue?
It'll start at 6 o'clock p.m.
6 o'clock p.m.?
Please come down and
How much
support
it cost to go inside?
$15.
Who's doing the catering?
Connie's and staff.
Connie's and staff. Okay, something. That's all you need to know. Hey, they got Heineken Light at the place, so you might see me open the doors for a little bit. So it's at 9 o'clock in the morning. Senator Talena Nelson, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Corinne.
Appreciate your time. Know how busy you guys are over at the legislature. Well, maybe not so much now. Oh, that thing with Joe S. and Will Castro, that hospitality bill. Kill that for me, would you? Thanks. Appreciate it. It's 9. We're KUSG. I got you. I got Fox News next.
Rallies and protests in D.C. I'm Rob Dawson. Fox News. No serious injuries or deaths after hundreds of people hit the streets in the nation's capital. A group of white nationalists were in D.C. for the Unite the Right 2 rally. Organizer Jason Kessler taunted the people who told him to stay home.
A lot of these people who are tough guys, wannabe Nazi types said, don't go. It's going to be a shooting gallery. You're going to be hurt if you go. Well, all right, tough guy Nazis. I'm not a Nazi. I'm a moderate, and I'm standing here while you're in your mommy's basement.
Kessler tried to get this rally back to Charlottesville, Virginia for a second year, but he was denied by the city of Charlottesville after a counter-protester was killed. This year in D.C., protesters greatly outnumbered the white nationalists. And protests and marches fill the streets of Charlottesville on the one-year anniversary of last year's rally. Charlottesville Mayor Nakia Walker speaking to CBS's Face the Nation about the healing that still needs to happen.
We hear these stories about people who are just shocked at where we are in our communities in regards to racism. But even once the facts are presented, people really don't want to change their actions to help truly heal that.
Protests in the city today were largely peaceful. Secretary of State James Mattis says he's moving on the president's plan for a Space Force. While en route to Brazil, Mattis says he wasn't against a Space Force before, even though the Pentagon says he originally opposed it. Mattis says he was against rushing to set up a new branch of the military before his department could properly plan about how to go about it. Congratulations to Brooks Koepka. He wins the PGA Championship. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On-site diesel delivery by Morico Equipment. Morico Equipment offers an on-site diesel delivery service right to your door. Diesel is delivered at pump prices. Don't wait for a typhoon to hit. Call Morico at 649-1966 right now. Kohler Power Systems are quiet, reliable, and dependable. With regular service and support from our team, they stay that way. Kohler generator systems are sold and serviced on Guam by Morico Equipment. Yes. Call now 649-1946 or click moricoequipment.com.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
And the ad count.
It could be several more days before we know who won a closely watched GOP primary last Tuesday.
110 votes out of 313,000. That's the margin between first and second place in the count of votes in the Republican primary for governor of Kansas.
The election is really razor thin.
The Secretary of State, Chris Kobach, holds that narrow lead over the current governor, Jeff Collier.
We want to make sure the law is followed and everybody who has voted that they get their vote counted.
All mail-in ballots have been counted, but there are still some 9,000 provisional ballots to be tallied. So who will win? Kobach doesn't know.
It could go either way.
The deadline to finish the count is August 20th, and the candidates have until next Friday to request a recount. Hank Weinblum, Fox News.
Multiple earthquakes hit northern Alaska today. The U.S. Geological Survey says a magnitude 6 earthquake hit near the city of Kaktovik on Alaska's north slope. A little more than 6 hours earlier, a 6.4 quake struck the region about 300 miles northeast of Fairbanks. Shark Week's over, but moviegoers didn't get the message.
Director John Turteltaub wanted to make the second best shark movie of all time, his favorite, Jaws. But the Meg, short for Megalodon, did finish first this weekend.
It was the largest shark that ever existed.
The Meg making $44.5 million. Mission Impossible Fallout second with $20 million. Christopher Robin third with $12.4 million. Slender Man opening fourth with $11.3 million. Finishing fifth with $10.8 million. Black Klansman, based on a true story.
There's never been a black cop in this city. We think you might be the man to open things up around here.
Director Spike Lee opting to open his film on the anniversary of the Charlottesville white supremacist rally. Jane Metzler, Fox News.
NASA's Parker Solar Probe is now headed towards the sun after launching this morning. I'm Rob Dawson, Fox News Radio.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurant. They're ready for lunch. Are you? Have you decided? I told you already, this is going to be our watchword for the day, friends, is that traffic is going to be stuck all day long, and you're not going to have a lot of time. So my suggestion is just go in, because it's going to be Salisbury steak. You know you're going to like it, so don't even bother thinking about it. King's Salisbury steak. Get in, eat it, enjoy it, get out, and get on with the rest of your life. It's back to school day, and we don't have time for decisions about which fancy restaurant we're going to be going to. You know you're going to enjoy it, so that's what's for lunch today at King's.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Portions of the program also brought to you by MRE. That's Micronesia Renewable Energy.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Morning talk that matters.
Time 7 after 9 o'clock in the morning. My name is Ray, and every once in a while I get an opportunity to take what I like to refer to as that warm bath of nostalgia. And in the last couple of minutes, I've been doing that. There's a book, The Nurses 50, or 50 Years of Dedicated Services, Nurturing, Caring, Service with Compassion. And it will tell you about how you're going to be able to get your hands on this book. We got a couple of incredible people. One of them is actually in the book, celebrating her time as a nurse here on Guam, and more about the nursing program at the University of Guam. And as I like to begin with my own observations about there's this long name, and Margaret Hattori is what's the last name?
Hattori's good enough.
No,
Uchima, but Hattori's good.
Yeah, but I know it's one of those things. But if I don't say the name after the hyphen, everybody gets mad at me and going, "You're supposed to." And so but Margaret's in the studio, and the reason why is because we're going to be talking about this book. And as I said, warm bath of nostalgia. As I'm flipping through the pages, I'm looking at these people, these nurses that have been a part of our healthcare community since I was born, basically. And these are people I know. Somebody's going to go to the hospital. Grandma, granddaddy, Uncle Jim, my mother. And we've all unfortunately found our way through Guam Memorial Hospital over the course of our years. And sometimes it's a happy outcome, and sometimes it's not a happy outcome. But still, in all, at the end of it, providing patient care primarily. But I think, and it's not even, it's a very, very close second. It's the patient care and then the care to the rest of the family, which is something that, I really think is endemic, if you will, to the nursing profession. I mean, you didn't get in it just to be somebody that was doing, as I requested, pulling out sutures and changing 2x2s and things like that, right? So a graduate of the program from a long time ago, but let me begin the conversation with Margaret. Why is it so hard to get into the nursing school at the university?
Well, for one thing, we have limited seats. Right now we have a nursing shortage on the island. It's very severe. No, but the problem is there's a domino effect. If you don't have enough nurses, practicing nurses that have experience, those are the ones that have to train the senior nursing students. I mean, of course, we send sophomores and juniors and seniors to GMH. Yeah. But in their capstone course, you have to have a nurse that has experience, at least 3 years of experience in acute care.
But they need to be at the hospital.
Yes, at the hospital, one-on-one with our students. So if we have, over 40 students, it becomes a big problem for GMH.
I wish there was a workaround. I knew a girl, smart as the day is long. I mean, and she had excellent academic credentials, except she had one tiny, tiny blemish that went literally back to the Reagan era. But that was enough to send her to the back of the line because there were other students in front of her who had, impeccable academic credentials. You got to be smart to get into the nursing program here.
Right. And, we've also changed our criteria because sometimes if students had to repeat courses, there was no leeway for medical reasons or family reasons. And so we push that way down on the list of criteria now, the ranking. But the ranking is still
but you still got to be smarter than the average bear.
Well, yes, you do. And particularly because someone's life is in your hands. I mean, especially if you've been in the hospital, it's the nurse that's at your bedside 24/7. And they're the ones that give your medications. Yes.
And with the family, oftentimes you get an explanation. It's just the way it is. The doctors are busy, and the doctor is going to say, this is the procedure that we're going to do, and we're going to do this tomorrow, and this is what's going to happen. And then he goes off and goes to somebody else and makes that same noise. But you still need a nurse in front of you to maybe drill into some of the other important details.
Yes, exactly.
And in some cases, it might be just a repetition of what you've heard from the doctor. In other cases, it might be new things. And an example. This is how we started the conversation when they first walked into the studio. I said, "Oh, good, a couple of nurses. Can you take out the sutures in my head?" And she said, "Oh yeah, what happened there?" The correct answer is the husband came home too early. Okay, but it's not the truthful answer. The correct answer is I had these calcium deposits on my head, so it looked like I had bug bites that just never went away. So I went to Darius. Darius popped them out, and today is the day I'm supposed to get my sutures out. And so I'm kind of thinking, well, if you guys are here, why don't you do that? Apparently, you need tools. Apparently, there's nurse stuff that you need, right? Like gloves and alcohol swabs and what? Now, what will the procedure be while I've got a nurse in front of me?
Oh, it'll be simple and it looks good.
Huh?
It's looking good.
You think it's not going to be flex?
Oh, it's going to be very easy to take those out. No.
Okay, so it's kind of bumpy and it's freaking me out because it's bumpy. That's going to go away, right? And it'll just kind of meld in with my worry lines.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh yeah, exactly, and it looks good.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so I could keep them. I just keep the sutures.
No.
So the reason why they're here is to push this book, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about the book. As I said, it's not easy to get into a nursing program, and here we are on the 50th anniversary, and what they wanted to do was an opportunity to go back in time. So the president now of the University of Guam, UOG Nursing Alumni Association, Rose Tribadini, and as I said, Rose is actually in this book.
Correct.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Tell me more about this. Tell me about the journey. When did it begin? And was there an idea even back then that, one of these days we're going to need to memorialize this? So take a lot of pictures and keep a lot of notes.
Yes, actually, the UOG NAA, University of Guam School of Nursing Alumni Association, started back in 2014 when a group of us got together. It was not a very good occasion that we got together because it was for the passing of one of our colleagues, Rose Tolentino Perez.
Yes.
Right. And so we went to her funeral, and then we got the inspiration to continue the get-together and start the association. And at that time, we all went to a VIP restaurant in Tumon, and we're sitting there and says,
Orange
let's
chicken.
Yes, and we said, let's get started. And we just went ahead and voted different people to become members of this association.
So going back to 1968 was when the program started at the university.
Correct.
Okay, so in 1960.
Oh, no, that's when we graduated.
Oh, when you graduated. So when did the program actually started?
1966.
1966. Okay,
Right.
but we're celebrating the 50 this year.
Correct.
Is that okay?
It's the anniversary of when we graduated.
Noted. So does it feel like it's been that long ago? Does it feel like 50 years?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
yes, in that, I know that I've added years, right? And that I'm already retired, and a majority of the nurses that are in this book have retired. 2 are still employed, really, like after 50 years, and they're still gainfully employed.
At GMH? Or just nursing in general? They're still in the biz.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
One
It's
of
all
them
right
is
with me.
working at GRMC.
Okay.
In a administrative position, and the other one's working at UOG.
In the teaching side.
In the teaching side, but not in the nursing. She's in the business portion of
Health Service Administration.
But still in the game,
Still,
right?
yes,
Still
yes,
literally,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
This is I learned this at the hospital, and this is where I'm doing it. There seems to me that there's a whole lot of when I was a little boy, all the nurses dressed like Auntie Annie, and basically nuns without the habits is what it always looked like to me, and they still had the hats back in those days. The nurse hats. They used to wear that uniform. I mean, it's such a it's iconic now. You don't see that too much. You see a lot of the nurses running around in scrubs and things like that.
But you know what? That's also what drew me to the profession is that, that it's all white and
White
right?
support hose.
well, I was drawn to it because it's so aesthetic, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's so clean and so, so that kind of drew me. And it's I don't know, it's the trend that, now the nurses look like the nurses' assistants, or they look like lab techs because everybody are using the scrubs. So patients can't really differentiate who's the nurse and who's the nurse's aide.
It needs to be insignias, like in the military, It's this one is I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I'm a technician, something like that.
Because, I think as a patient, and I'm going to put myself as a patient, I want to be able to know and address my concerns with, like maybe the nurse, and not be addressing my issues with
to the guy that changes the bedpan.
Yes,
because
or
they look the same. This sounds like a problem that needs addressing.
No, even the custodians wear scrubs now. So yeah, that's a little bit of
maybe color codes or something like that.
Maybe
just to help out. It's I don't know. It's like going to be like you're in a department store shopping or something like that, and you see somebody that looks like they work there, and as it turns out, it's just a customer. So you want to know that you're directing the question, especially where it comes to healthcare, to somebody for whom you can rely on the answer to come back. But I mean, I think that's an interesting way that the current modern times have shaped conversations that take place in the health industry. I've got to imagine, because we know how tough things are at GMH now, and in a state of almost perpetual duress that the men and women, all of them at GMH, have to work under, regardless of what color scrubs they're working. So I guess the question that I want to ask now is, how much tougher was it in the 60s and the 70s? How much more of a hard scrabble job was it being a nurse back in the olden days with the olden technology?
Well, I'm going to say it this way. I think, diseases are not new. The anatomy of the body is
Haven't
the
changed
same.
that, no.
Right. So the issues remain the same as far as delivery of care. The delivery of patient care is still the same. And I think that the heart of this book is to be able to encourage those that are seeking a career in nursing, that the journey that we have was a big struggle, and that nursing is not easy, but you have to have a commitment, and that commitment has to be from the heart, because this is a vocation. It is a calling, because you are in it for life, and it's not like me entering all these data and this information about patients in a computer. It's about me being at the bedside, because part of that healing is, I think, the one-to-one with the patient.
I love
is
hearing
how-
the passion in your voice.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the paycheck or technology or
Exactly.
gizmos. It's
Yes.
I want to be
It's
there
the
for the patient.
interaction that you have. And actually, that's part of the healing.
What were your happiest days?
Oh, I think, we have this saying, right, that if you really love what you do, and there's never a day in your life that you work, right? So I really
I've
love
embraced that all of my life. I've embraced that. There's Michael has never seen me work. We've been together 6 or 7 months, Michael and I, and anybody that knows me in my career knows I've never worked a day in my life. I love coming in here. I love getting in front of the microphone. So it's the same thing in nursing.
That's right. And, and that also has a fallback.
Oh, my hours are way better than yours, too.
That's right. But there's a fallback, right? Because for me, and I'm sure with my colleagues it was the same way, that you don't really, I don't call in every day and say, I'm sick today, or because, I don't want to go into work. Maybe I've had just a few days. Of the 30 years that I've been a nurse, I don't think I've really called in sick.
So there's like every day was a good day.
Yes.
But I know that there were hard days. I mean, especially you got a case, and maybe it's somebody that you know or a family that you've become very close with, and we did not have the optimal patient outcome. I think is the PC word to say. Somebody died.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are tough ones, aren't they?
Yes, those are times when you cry with the family and your heart goes out for them, and those are like ingrained in my memory. Those experiences that I've had. Where,
You remember them all, don't you?
Yes, where patients, die on me. And I feel like you go back and you do a review of what you've done, and you say, what else could I have done that would be better?
But, unlike, I'm a member of the family, and I'm at the hospital, and they've called me in because so-and-so is in the last hours. Okay, I go. And for me, that's the beginning of another transitional moment. For me, that somebody has passed on, and now we go through this step, that step, the other step. But when you're a nurse, and as I said, you cry with the family, and you pull the sheet over the eyes, and then you walk into another room and start nursing somebody else.
That's
You don't get much of a break to grieve, do you?
I remembered that when I was doing some nursing, I never break down at the time of emergency, like when they call it like code 72, and I'm right in there, and I don't break down because I'm like right on target.
Got work to do.
Yes, we got
life
work
to save.
Yes, really, and your adrenaline is just pumping away, and I don't break down until after we're done, and I'm like, oh my God, did we just do that? Really, it's those are heart wrenching.
At the end of the day, everybody goes through some kind of an unwinding process. As a nurse, what's your unwind? And do you still do it?
Unwind.
I'm thinking a glass of wine at Kitchen Lingo.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I practice what I preach. I practice what I preach.
Well, it's hard because you got to be back at work at 7 a.m. So
unwind is probably.
That's why it's only called happy hour. It's just the 1 hour that you're supposed to be in there doing that. So you don't have an unwind routine. You just kind of
I don't think I do.
Just
being with family.
I was going to say, going home to your family and just being, embracing or being the bosom of the family, right?
Yes, and just being able to express, the frustrations of the day to a spouse, and just wow, I just had a terrible day, and that was it. That's
Rose, best encouragement you can give. Somewhere listening to this is somebody 17, 18, maybe they're driving in the car with mom back to school, getting ready for senior year, and they're trying to figure out what it is that they're going to do with their lives. And the best advice you can give them, if they're even remotely interested in taking on, and I'm not going to use the word career because I think you're right. Vocation, avocation, vocation is the right word. This will be your life, and you will be married to this the same way that you would be married to a spouse or married to God. So best piece of advice that you can give for somebody as they're exploring the potential.
I think that if they have even an inkling of wanting to be a nurse, I think that they should explore that. They should just go to UOG nursing department and find out more about it. We need nurses here in Guam. Like you said, we have a dire need for nurses.
How many nurses do we have now that are locus tenens that have flown in for the opportunity to work for $85,000 a year?
Right. But even that, you have nurses that are working 3 jobs. Trying to work at GMH, work at GMRMC,
Clinic
and
work.
work in clinic.
Yeah.
Yes, and you get burnouts.
But are they doing that because they need the money, or are they doing it
No.
because they just I'm a nurse, I want to nurse right now?
That's a fine line,
Mm.
right? I don't think I'm the expert to say that, but yes, I think that money does come into play.
Margaret, how much different is it now? I mean, if somebody was talking about getting into the game in 2018, how much different is it now versus the way they did it maybe back in her day when
in terms of the education and clinical, I don't think it's that much different. I mean, yes, we've gone through accreditation. There are more standards, more regulations, more challenges.
Oh boy.
But I have to say, after especially spending time with Rose and her class, they have the passion. And I hate to say it, but what I see more of a problem is because the salary is good, because it's a great career, and I agree with her, it's a vocation. We all feel that this is our life. It's not an 8 to 5 job or 7 to 3. We are getting more students who are doing it because their parents want them to do it. They're doing it because it's going to be good money. And if you don't do it because you care about people, and I have had a few students who actually don't care about people, and they've dropped out of the program.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you show them the
yes,
definition
yes,
of a nurse?
yes,
I mean,
yes.
you go back to the beginnings of the.
And I'm not their mother. I can't teach them how to care. But more and more we're getting students. We used to hardly get students that were in it for the money.
It opens up a couple of seats for the
Yes,
people that
yes,
really want to be in there. The ones that really give a damn about, it's not just getting in there and saving somebody's life. I mean, and there's so many different ways that you can save somebody's life. And many of them, might be drugs, might be the administration of medicine, might be the administration of some cool gee whiz technology that nurses get to play around with now, or it might be just hold my hand before I go in for surgery. Right, and Dr. Darius has got a lady I'm going to see today, and a 56-year-old man, and I've had my scrapes and breaks in my life, but it's still whenever I go in for a procedure, as soon as I can start to smell the alcohol swabs, it takes me back to when I was a little kid getting shots, and she saw that I was a little bit clammy around the hands, and all she did was put her hand on my shoulder while the doctor was conducting the procedure. That was sufficient to get me to calm down and almost enjoy the process because I wasn't so freaked out about it. And I'm sure there's a name for it. I'm sure there's a whole semester that you spend on administering that healing touch.
Right, exactly. And so what I see more that you didn't see back in Rose's day or even when I went to school was people coming into the career for the wrong reasons. And so I really always caution students, if you're in it just for the money, that's not going to work.
Find another spot.
Find something else.
Go
There's
to
other
business
things
school.
you
It's
can
right
do.
there. Business school is right down the hole to the left, and you can go into.
Because the
into
bottom
business
line
school.
is the patient wants someone who cares. I don't care if you're a 4.0, because the best nurse is not necessarily a 4.0 nurse.
Correct.
I was not 4.0.
Correct.
You don't have to be a genius to be a nurse. You got to be smart. But I want someone that cares about people, will hold the hand, will take care of the family, and actually pay attention to the family. And so when we get people that only look at
'Cause
themselves,
after the patient is released, the family become the next set of caregivers, and they need to know what's going on, and they need to know more about it, more than just the details of this is the shot that you administer, these are the pills that she has to take every day, all of those things. It'll still come down to you're providing care. The underlying word here that we need to use is care. Is it harder now to get into the program? And we sort of talked about this at the beginning of it.
I think it's always been difficult. From what I hear, it's always been difficult. And I've been at EOG since 2002, and it's always been a problem. And nursing schools nationwide actually are very difficult to get into.
Got to figure out a way to be able to open things up a little bit more, because as you point out, we've got a finite number of seats in the learning institutions, but the demand seems to be growing. And I think all three of us are old enough, and many of the people on Facebook Live that are chiming in here this morning also old enough to remember when there was one hospital here, there was a Navy hospital, but they took care of their own, and they had their own resources that helped them deal with with any of the shortages that they had. There weren't a whole lot of clinics. There weren't a whole lot of specialties. And there wasn't a whole lot of a need for somebody that had gone through a nursing program. It seems to me, and maybe it's part of the aging of the population or just an easier grasp of medical technology and the specialties that are out there. There just seems to be so many openings now for people that have got even basic skills.
Right. And we are working with GRMC to see if we can use them. You know, their facility's so new, 3 years.
Yeah.
So we are looking at GRMC to start using them in the spring, which will open up, some slots. But I think getting more nurses into GMH and GRMC is the key, because if you lose them, right, then that's a problem. And we just heard in June that CNMI raised the salary of their nurses.
Oh, great.
And
Which means that they're going to be, the rates go up elsewhere, hours need to climb.
Right,
Otherwise, it's going to be harder for us to hold on to the girls that we got.
I believe, and I may be wrong, but their salary is equal to or greater than GMH. And so you do see a lot of nurses leaving GMH after they get experience. Now, our graduates are staying. We did some statistics. It's like 95, 98% stay. The military ones have to leave, of course. But the vast majority are staying on
Guam. No, they can marry
Guam.
local guys, or local girls, as the case may be.
Right.
I want to tread lightly where we start talking about gender-specific jobs. I grew up.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of males.
Berdaglio, and as Shelley points out, we got Mrs. Akubi, Susanna's there, Angie Gamendi. Most of the names of nurses that 99% of us, Carla Haddock, will remember, are women. There's guys that have been through your program, right?
Oh no, we have a larger percentage of men than I would say most schools in the nation. In fact, when the Accreditation Commission came, they made the comment that they're impressed that we have large numbers of males.
A lot more guys going in.
Yeah.
Are there opportunities for nurses? I almost said girls again. Are there opportunities for some of your students to go from nursing and then into a medical program? An actual MD. Does that happen?
Very rarely, because we have a government of Guam scholarship that pays full tuition, books, and fees. And if that's not going to produce a nurse, that's not the best use of our money.
Oh,
and these are taxpayer dollars.
I see. Right.
So someone tells me, I want to be a doctor, I really try to move them into biology or chemistry. Because sometimes people that want to be a doctor don't necessarily have the same skills or personality traits as someone that wants to be a nurse. So we have long conversations. I had a student, I spent over an hour, another faculty spent over an hour, and then she finally decided, no, I really don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse. And she's a senior doing great, but really, and very happy with the change in her perception of doctor versus nurse.
I'd asked Rose a question a second ago about the best advice you could give for somebody with an inkling to become a nurse, to join this fascinating lifestyle that doesn't seem to have aged you.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
She look great?
Right?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
This is somebody that graduated from this program in 1968, and you're still a young lady.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
She is. And the passion.
Went to school with my mother, for heaven's sakes. 9:32. But Margaret, for you, the best advice that you could give for somebody that
I would say if you're in a school that has allied health program or health occupations, like GCC has those programs in some of the high schools, and Guam High has a very good program. And they train their students to be nursing assistants. I really recommend from high school trying to do a program like that, and then look at the hospitals and see if you can volunteer.
Yes.
Because it's different talking to someone and you hear the great things about nursing. And I was a volunteer in high school, and that really, that sealed the deal for me. I knew I wanted to be a nurse from the day I walked into GMH
Do
as
they
a
still
volunteer.
call them candy stripers?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Back then
volunteers.
it was a volunteer. It was great. I loved it.
But there is the Guam Memorial Hospital Volunteers Association. But they, to the degree that they assist the nurses at GMH?
No.
So it's just
but at least you're exposed to the hospital and you see healthcare. And you can talk to nurses and see what the reality is.
What's a program like this cost? Because, this radio thing might not work out for me. And if I need a second career, I like those support hose as much as the next guy.
Well, actually, UOG is a great bargain because we're about 124 credits, depending on whether you come in at college level math and English, and it's $210 a credit. So
I'm over 55.
We're well below. Oh, yes. Perhaps there's a discount rate.
And there's a lot of scholarships.
It's free if you're over 55.
There's a lot of scholarships.
Scholarships for the nursing.
Yes.
our organization
I
has
don't
a
have the
scholarship.
academic credentials. I just tell you that right now. I don't have I'd have to start basically over from the beginning. You know, when we did GPAs in high school, I was the only one with a negative. So I might not be, you know, the book smart guy that you guys are going to be going through. And there's things that you have to know. You just got to know the biology.
Right.
You got to know chemistry.
A little bit of chemistry,
Really?
not a
And
lot.
some math.
Really?
It's only 1 year of chemistry, and the chemistry faculty call it baby chemistry.
And
Oh,
math.
interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And math.
And
If
you
really,
gotta do
if you know
metrics,
basic
right?
math and good English skills, you can do it. But really, it's the caring and the passion, and that's what we love about Rose's class. And so we've invited the students to come and meet them, and really feel their passion about this career that has been their life's work.
See, I like that. The passion, and we'll combine that with the training. We'll combine that and create competent people to go out there and continue to provide the health that the community desperately needs. We're really, really having a hard time with things. I mean, the number of people in my life that I've lost to cancer is astonishing anymore. And the people that I am associated with, funny, you know, in my age group, you're starting to see more and more guys beginning to present and express issues that they're having internally, and gout and diabetes and all of these, you know, very preventable diseases that people like Rose used to come to the schools and talk to the kids about. Brush your teeth and don't eat too much of this and don't eat too much of that. Unfortunately, we didn't all pay attention, and this good life is killing us. So it's important to find more and more people that are capable of doing this. The book is out there; it's available. And where can people find this?
Yes, I want to push for the launch. We're having a launch on August 16th, 2018, from 5:30 to 7 at the UOG School of Nursing.
Perfect.
Yes, please come and join us. Refreshments would be served.
And the book is free?
The book is during the launch, it will be $50.
Okay.
And the proceeds is going back to the School of Nursing.
As it should. As
Yes.
it should. And it's almost a yearbook. It's fun because you get your hands on this thing and you start thumbing around. If you've got somebody in the medical profession, certainly somebody that's a nurse, that's been a nurse here for a long time, there's a very good chance there's a page or two or three dedicated to them. We've got the pictures of them when they started. We've got the pictures of them where they are now with the family, and a little bit about the story that led them into the program, and then to enjoy the career that they eventually had. It really is a fascinating book, and a great life calling that these men and women have found themselves in. So I had a terrific time. Did we leave anything out?
No, Thursday. It's this Thursday,
Okay.
so we really invite anyone to come that's interested and meet these wonderful women. They've really dedicated their life to serving the island, and so I really think we should applaud them and celebrate the 50 years of service.
The idea and encourage.
Yes.
And encourage. At the end of the day, this is what we want to do, is find people and encourage them into this path, because it's a
Or
great
motivate them.
motivate them into
yes.
that path. So so grab a copy of the book and enjoy it. Ladies, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for having us.
So are you
Thank
see,
you.
and you weren't nervous, right?
Oh, yes, I'm good now.
You're good now? That's all right.
Thank you.
She's all nervous in the beginning. I said, here's the deal, is that I will be happy if you decide that, now you want to do this every week. Yes, I want to go in there and talk on the radio all the week. Margaret Hattori, Imuchi.
Uchima.
Uchima.
That's okay. Hattori's fine.
Hattori, I know it. But like I said, somebody will give me a hard time if I leave it out. 9:37 in the morning. Let's call that Eye Connect time, why don't we? The practical choice, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the deal. You need to communicate, maybe on the internet, maybe on your mobile phone, maybe with one of those push-to-talk gizmos that have all the smartphone features built in. It's true. It's a whole generation of this stuff, and it's all changed without you knowing about it. Here's the deal. You can find out about those things with the practical choice. Eye Connect.
Hi, this is Kathy Sorensen. Some of you may remember me as the lady who bought too much furniture and passed on the savings to you. I'm back with Furniture Kathy style, and prices are rolled back 10 years. That's 2018 style with 2008 prices. Come check us out and have a chance to win your dream home makeover. Everything is on sale up to 25% during this grand opening event. Visit us at Furniture Kathy style in Agania, Instagram, and Facebook.
Portions of the program brought to you by Wendy's. It's time for a Wendy's break. What's the easiest way to get your dose of antioxidant-rich berries? Wendy's Berry Burst Chicken Salad. Hand-chopped lettuce sprinkled with fresh strawberries, juicy blueberries, crumbly feta cheese, sea-salted toasted almonds, and freshly grilled chicken. Now, I'm not a grilled chicken guy. I like it fried. I like it spicy. And you can ask, and they will exchange for you. Just be nice about it, and don't worry. They're going to get it. Summer berries are in season, or, here we are, day before the back to school. Summer berries are still in season at Wendy's. Now, that's better.
A strong economy depends on a strong middle class. Businesses need help to survive in these tough times, and new industries are needed. As your governor, I will propose tax cuts for small businesses. We will streamline government operations to create a more business-friendly environment. We will invest in infrastructure and in our people by expanding opportunities to learn much-needed trades. I'm in to help get us there, and I humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Who's it now? American President Lines, APL, is shipping the future.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
It's not often, but I've got a couple of interviews that we've lined up already. There's this one this morning with the nurses, and later on, the Mark Anniversary Gala is going to be coming up, and we're looking for a way to celebrate community contributors. We'll be talking with members of the Mark family here in a couple of days, and it'll be just as fun and just as exciting because it's our history. It's who we are. It's where we're from. And whether you're somebody, and it's fun because every once in a while I get that question. In fact, Saturday night, sat down with somebody who's very, very interested in the history of the island, and in particular my family's history and how the Underwoods managed to get a hold on Guam, and the blessings that they had. And I like to think of the blessings that the community had as a result of my great grandfather finding a place on Guam, and in fact finding a beautiful woman on Guam, and that was the beginning of all of that. It's a story I absolutely love telling. Looking at a line of traffic in front of, it looks like there's still a hard time getting into Big Navy this morning down in Sumai, and I don't know why. I know the Trusted Traveler program is done, but it's 9:41 in the morning. It seems to me the rush should have already been completed. Still looks like there's a little bit of a line of traffic. It's moving, but there's more cars than usual at this time in front of Navy Hospital. Also getting into the downtown Hagåtña area from Mighty and then the backside towards the Agana Shopping Center. A little bit of traffic on the old Hospital Road. Looks like north and southbound traffic generally looks like it's moving fairly well, except when you start talking about getting over by the Chicken Joy intersection, over by the 1 and 16, over by the Micronesia Mall. You might see some slowdowns there. Getting into and out of Dededo, all of that stuff. Everything is looking good. Everything for the most part is looking good. So other than the places where I told you, it does not look good. 888-8255. That number again is 888-8255. Hope everybody had an exciting weekend. I saw Phil Schragi lurking on the Facebook Live a little bit ago, and saying, "Hey, good job with the one-on-one with the candidates from the Micronesia Mall." I'm glad you enjoyed it. We tried to bring in, and we'll when it gets to be the one for the general election, we'll have all of the bugs ironed out. So we'll only have one Facebook Live feed. But I keep remembering, there might have been a couple of issues with the audio and the video on our Facebook Live feed. But at the end of all of it, it was designed to be a radio broadcast. And as far as I know, the radio broadcast went by unbelievably well. So hopefully if you were listening on the radio, you might not have seen any of the problems that we were fighting with on the Facebook Live. But Facebook Live is getting to be a very, very important thing where it comes to some of these forums. We had one a couple of weeks ago that I was a part of with the Chamber of Commerce. And there, a couple of hundred people in the room and a couple of hundred people online at any single time. But there were thousands that were going in and out. So you might look at our numbers here. What have I got? 30 or something like that on the Facebook Live counter that you might be looking at. However, that does not account for the numbers of people that have been exposed to the video, that have watched the video, and have been a part of the broadcast in and out all morning long. Not everybody can stick around for 4 hours on the program. It also doesn't account for the people that will watch this live as a video on demand later on. So Rose and Margaret are going to go someplace. Hey, I was on the radio with Ray about 9 o'clock, and people that they know will go, "Oh, I want to see that. I want to see." Did Ray make an ass of himself? No, not this time. Not this time, but so we've got a lot of people that come back and check the video on demand, which is very, very cool as well. As an example of a concern that I have today, there is going to be a forum at the Guam Bar is going to be doing this at noon at the museum in Agana. I think everybody knows where that is, and that's a nice place to have a forum, but it ain't the biggest room in the world. I've been in there. It's like one of the small theaters at the Agana Stadium theaters. I mean, it's big enough to be able to see what's going on, but it's not like you're going to get the 50 gillion people in there. I know what you're going. Yeah, but it's the Bar Association. Yeah, but it's the Bar Association in an election year with gubernatorial candidates and a lot of people that might want to go in there and make a big noise about Gary or what's his name, Moreland and Levin Camacho, right? What's his name, Doug. So it's possible that the room is going to fill up pretty quick. Now, I still want to know. As I've said countless times, in 2019, in fact, for the OPA's office, it'll be even earlier. I will have to break in a new OPA, right? I already have to break in a new president at the University of Guam. Right. And as we move forward, as we get past the general election, I will have to break in a new speaker. I will have to break in a new governor and lieutenant governor. I will have to break in a new congressman, unless Madeline wins. Right? But, it's 1 in 3 shot that she might not, right? There's 2 other people that are running against her. And there's all of these other, and then, all of the directors in the agencies. Because they're all going to change. Yeah. At some, even if Ray wins, what will happen is everybody will have to turn in a piece of paper, their resignation. Say, I hereby resign my position as such, because it's the tradition of it. And so departments and agencies in the next 6 months are going to be completely different. And so that's, something that I got to kind of keep in my head for all of this. And so as we go through all of it, this process, even something like this forum for the Attorney General candidates that's being thrown today at noon at the museum, I'm not going to be able to make it. And there might not be room in that little room for me and my ego. So maybe it's something that I'd like to watch on the Facebook Live or on some other kind of social media platform. And it doesn't say anything. Everything that I've read about it doesn't say whether or not they will. So that's I was gonna say if we get some time today, find somebody from the Guam Bar and let them know I'm kind of curious about it. Will this be on Facebook Live? Will there be a way for us to be able to interact with it? And anymore, it's not a question of of watching. If it was 5 years ago. And we go, okay, we got a guy with a camera and we can stream it live. Okay, that's now step 1. But step 2 now, and this is something that more and more people, I think, have gotten into the idea now. This is table stakes. This is something that has to be there all the time. It is the interaction. People want to be able to interact. Example, Rodney Cruz. When I was talking with Senator Tilena Nelson, says, please look into the DOC guards not being paid their overtime. As of now, they're going into their 10th pay period with over 100+ overtime hours. Please look into this matter. Man, that wouldn't surprise me, would it?
Wow, that's something else.
That would not surprise me. Maybe it was 10 pay periods ago. That could it be? Trying to do the mathematics on this. Yeah, it's possible. You remember when they shut down the police precinct?
That's right, yeah.
And they took all those guys, took the badges, and sent them over to DepCorps. Right. The idea was that it was supposed to help them out from under their massive overtime problem. Right. And it worked, and they did. And they were able to demonstrate that, yeah, when we've got all these extra people chauffeuring or clerking at the front or doing all of the things that, frankly, I think other people could have been able to do something with, was, to the degree that it was successful from their view because it reduced the overtime of the Department of Corrections. Fine, we'll go ahead and call that a success. I did not, because I thought it destabilized the amount of safety that existed in certain communities of the island, including downtown Agana. So I thought it didn't work for me in the balance. So that was maybe 20 weeks ago, 10 pay periods. Is that what you're saying, Rodney? Yeah, that's we can look into that. We can look into that. And you know what? I'll send a note to Kevin Kerrigan, ask him to call Morena over at the Department of Corrections. We've only got a few more minutes left in the program, so I'll send that note to Kevin and see if they can find something out about that. And maybe maybe there's a news story that you'll see in the Guam Daily Post tomorrow. Appreciate that. But I underscore Rodney's point here because this is the interaction that people now want from their media. They don't necessarily want to be Ray Gibson. Don't want to have to be here 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:45 in the morning, or, having to worry about the technology. But you want me to ask questions for you.
That's right.
You want people to be able to see what some of your questions are. I'll give you I'll tell you what, this was interesting. While I'm interviewing Ray Tenorio yesterday, and I've got my laptop open in front of me, and I've got the Facebook Live open in front of me, and Ray is sitting literally right next to me. And when he wasn't looking at me, he was looking at the Facebook Live. And I will just say, his usual enemies were on the Facebook Live yesterday, but even some people he doesn't necessarily hear from all the time were also very critical about some of the points that he was making and the way he was trying to dodge, right? And so people get it. People get it. So that's my point. That's my point. It is no longer. And I tell you what, if I was running a news department, if I was running a news department, I would make it so that there was always a stream. We'd do it just like this. I'd run the news just like this, and I would be the guy, the talking head over here, and we'd have a little background, whatever, and a thing, and flying logos and all of that stuff. Right. I mean, actual news. But I'd do it exactly like this so that you could see the Facebook Live comments go up and down based on the news story, right? Yep. Based on whoever it is that's getting the interview, right? Would throw to the tape and have people say, oh, yeah, that's a slum, or oh, my God, what a dirtbag this guy is. What? He's lying. Just copy and paste. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. Sometimes you go, she's lying. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. I'd love to see that because it's the interaction that people absolutely love anymore. And the fact that it exists and that it exists to the great numbers that we see every morning here on this radio station and our Facebook Live feed. I'm here to tell you it will never, ever go away. I will never, ever do a show where I cannot rely on the interaction either online or on the screen, just like you see right now.
Interaction on the point is just like taxes. Never going away.
Yeah, it's always going to be here. 888-8255, that's 888-8255. Frustrating, Romeo says, they never say if they'll stream. Streaming is always an afterthought, as if it's a new thing. It's 5 years old already. Get with it, people. It ain't that tough, guys. It ain't that tough to be able to do it. And
I've accidentally gone on Facebook Live.
Yeah, right? Press, hey, what am I doing? Do I have all my clothes on? I'm having an Anthony Weiner moment. No! I'm trying to decide whether I want to say or not. Because, I'm my life open book guy, right?
Yeah. Well.
All right, so I'm gonna just for the sake of. So I'm thinking about going to the beach yesterday,
right?
And I run into a girl who's running for the beauty pageant, and I said, hey, listen, well, you want to come with me? I'm going to go lay out by the beach, and I'm going to work on my tan. You can lay out a little bit, get some color, and get ready for the pageant, all that. And she's like, well, yeah. And so, long story short, and it's one of those things where I go, after I press the button, I go, that's just creepy, Ray. And she sends me a thing, asking me the question, pageant ready? And I said, you tell me. And I sent her a picture of myself with no shirt on and the tan. Yeah.
Right.
And it's okay if I send that to you. Yeah. It's borderline okay if I send it to people here in the office. I'm not so sure how it's supposed to be received by 22-year-old beauty queen. I immediately wrote back and said, oh, my God, I didn't realize how creepy that was going to look. Please. It's going to be, pretty soon there's going to be the hashtag Me Too, right? Unbelievable. 9:52 in the morning. Do I have time for a break? Do I need to take a break? I do? All right, tell you what, there's a bunch of stuff on the table of contents that I'll get around to getting around here after these.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. My name is Alicia Blas from Agust, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Putehi Igomamu. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
As I said, interaction is a wonderful thing. Nick chimes in this morning, says people are tired of having their intelligence insulted by these politicians' BS answers. And Booney Dog writes, and I love this, and can I borrow this? You want to know what was missing from the meet and greet Q&A yesterday? The Mandagi Task Force, not the Mandanya. Mandagi is in Busta Mandagi. Stop trying to pull my legs. Stop trying to feed the bola bola. How else are we supposed to know the truth from the not-so-truth? I'm voting for the candidate that doesn't show up and interfere with my YouTube binging. What have I been binging on? Deadwood again. It's just, you know, it's like comfort food for my brain. I can't find anything else to watch. Don't want to get suckered into watching anything on regular network television, even regular in the Hollywood of 2016, 17, and 18. I'm not buying any of the crap that they're shoveling anymore these days. So Deadwood's actually pretty good. I like Deadwood. There's guns. People are shooting everything. Nice. And there's no political correctness. It's amazing how you can get away with something if it's on HBO, right? You can get away. You can be the most politically incorrect person in the world. You know, just throw the N-word out there all over the place, the C-word. Nice. Nice. I'm going to do that here. Can I do that here?
Being politically correct is way overrated.
Hey, get a job. Phys ed teacher still up for grabs at Notre Dame High School. At least it was when they printed this yesterday. And this is interesting. Avionics division manager. You need at least 2 years of experience overseas and instructs avionics techs in fabrication, installation, testing, and troubleshooting of avionics and other related equipment and systems for the Hughes 500 or other comparable helicopters. Right? Right? Helicopters?
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? You say that like you're not enthusiastic about flying a helicopter.
Love helicopters.
I always want to fly.
I'd rather be in a helicopter than an air, fixed wing.
Okay, so when I was 17 years old, I've told this story before, but, you know, because it has such a happy outcome, I'm going to tell it as often as I can. I took the military battery. You know, came in the top 5% in the country.
Nice.
Yeah. I was a smart guy, apparently. My grades didn't reflect that. I was still a negative in the GPA guy side, but, you know, I'm just one of those just clever dudes, right?
Didn't count in school.
Yeah, so I clicked on this test. I did so well. And I went to the Navy, and a guy in the Navy, because my dad was in the Navy, so I figured I'd go there. You know, it didn't hurt him. How badly could it hurt me? So I went, and I talked to the recruiter, and he looked at my ASVAB score. He says, what do you want to do? He said, you can do practically anything you want to do. I said, I want to go to flight school. He says, you can't do that. So it's practically anything. Okay, well, can I go to DENFOS, which is the military, it's the school where they send their journalists.
Oh, okay.
Right? And I was already in radio and, playing around TV at the time. And the guy said, no, I can't do that. There's a part in the test that is, you're supposed to find the C's in an ocean of O's. And I had lousy eyes, and so I failed that one single part of the test. But that was enough to filter me out of the flight program, and never went back. Which was the stupidest thing I could have done. Because I literally, they would have sent me to medical school. Wow. I mean, I could have gone in a general in the Navy.
Could have been a guest on the show instead of running the show.
I could be retired. I could be retired by now.
What kind of doctor would you have been?
OBGYN.
course.
Didn't take me a second to think about that, did it? You know, just pop right in my head. 9:58 and change. So this thing here with the helicopters, whenever I think about helicopters, and I think about the rescue work that the guys in the Guard and HC-25 was trying to do in the last 48 hours out in the hills, and keep praying for those kids and their families. Would you, even the ones that made it out? I think this is something that's going to have a deep effect on them. And no matter what happens, the brotherhood has already begun there. It will only be stronger, regardless of the outcome of this excursion. But keep praying for them, find ways to support them. But you know, when I think about helicopters, man, I think about that time. There's something romantic about it. You know, the Chamorro Daycare looking for experienced child care providers. That's nice. Loan servicing specialists at the bank. Oh, at A&Z. Duty manager. They still got that bowling up. I'm just saying, these are great jobs. Paralegal, power plant division manager. Doesn't that sound like fun?
I like the bowling thing myself because imagine you get discounts on everything.
Yes. Yes.
Especially beer.
And you know, it's those shoes. You know, after they wear out for the lanes, you don't think they'll throw those things away. No. You get to be able to wear those. That's right. Out in public. That's why bowling shoes are ugly, by the way, is to prevent people from stealing them and wearing them out in public. Booney Dog says, I scored high enough on the ASVAB not to live in a tent. Right on. Retired 41-year-old with 24 years of service. Way to go. See, now that's where I could have been. But I'm here with you, and I wouldn't change that for anything. The radio station is KUSG. I got you. My name is Ray Gibson. Tomorrow morning, the suture's off. Pray for me, would you? I'm scared. Hold my hand, nurse. No, not the boy nurse, the girl nurse. Here's that Fox News. See you later.
Yes to space. I'm Rob Dawson, Fox News. Defense Secretary James Mattis says he's behind the creation of a new military branch.
I was not against setting up a Space Force. What I was against was rushing to do that before we defined those problems.
This comes after he expressed concern to lawmakers last year about creating the branch. The defense secretary spoke while en route to Brazil. In Washington, counter-protesters against the Unite the Right 2 rally come out in full force. The counter-protesters greatly outnumber the white nationalists. Organizer Jason Kessler says the rally was meant to improve civil rights for white people, not to express neo-Nazism.
We got to be honest. We got to be sincere. There is a way forward to help white folks, but we cannot be associating with hate or violence or oppression.
There were no serious injuries and no deaths. The rally was held on the one-year anniversary of the first Unite the Right event in Charlottesville, Virginia. That rally turned deadly when a counter-protester was killed. As she gets ready to release her new memoir, Unhinged, former White House aide Omarosa Manigault-Newman calls President Trump a con man.
Manigault-Newman left the White House earlier this year. How it happened depends on who you listen to. But in her book, she details ways she says the White House deceived the nation. On NBC's Meet the Press, she referred to now being 1 year after Charlottesville, and not much changing.
He has an opportunity actually to bring the country together, but you'll see that he doesn't have the ability to do that because he puts himself over country every day.
At a rally Saturday, the president called her a lowlife. The White House labels accounts in Manigault-Newman's book as lies and false accusations.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Brooks Koepka wins the PGA Championship. Fox News, fair and balanced.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children.